me here. Two guys go to the same player. One needs to stay while you can slide another. And then look, you got players getting in the pocket. Both of these players open for Karaskia to pass the ball to, able to get on the half turn and get a shot off. Maybe got a little bit lucky here, but able to finish. When you talk about teams who can move quickly in transition, the one that stands out the most is Uruguay and how they do that. They'll chase you down, they'll put you under pressure. When they get the ball, they'll break on you. And what an outlet pass here from Valverde to Araujo, who then drives with the ball and plays a perfectly weighted pass. But it's also the run from Darwin Nunez and being able to have that finish in your post. You got to be ready for those situations, but it's the communication that you're going to need and how you slide players so you don't have two people going to the same man.
Yeah, we heard Greg Berhalter in the pregame talk about the counter, and so they've targeted, they understand it. So how do you combat that? Well, first off, you foul early and often. So that one slows down the game, okay, but that also sets the tone. So a lot of things have to happen here tonight. Again, they don't have to play a perfect game, but they have to set the tone from a physical perspective right off the bat so Uruguay understands right when that whistle blows that this is not going to be easy. They do have to tactically foul, and they have to do it on a consistent basis and by committee. No stupid mistakes, red cards, those types of things can't happen. Penalties, playing out of the back. We heard Stu Holden talk about that. And draw those fouls. Christian Pulisic, force the issue, get taken down, and then set pieces.
And go down. When you get fouled, go down. Yes. Oh, by the way. All right, today's player profile sponsored by Adidas. It focuses in on Gio Reyna, the 21-year-old set to make his third straight start at this Copa America. His sixth straight start overall for the U.S. men's national team. 8 goals, 5 assists for his country. His club situation, though, currently, let's call it cloudy at best. Group C, set for its dramatic conclusion. The last 2 matches, simultaneous. The U.S., Uruguay on FS1. Bolivia, Panama live on FS2. The U.S. counting on their big stars like Christian Pulisic, Gio Reyna, and Florian Balogun to come through when they're needed most. More on the big guns next.
Find out who will finish first in America's second city.
And they say it's hard to pass here on the streets of Chicago. He's proven that he can do it.
Listen to the Grant Park 165 on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
Out onto Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago, Illinois.
Plus, our exclusive Driver to Crew chatter puts you inside the cars as they race through the streets of Chicago.
Thank you, guys.
Don't miss a lap. Sunday at 3:30 Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan.
Their jaws are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful even as they age.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend using 50 years of nutritional research and experience, helping dogs make incredible turnarounds. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Krispies. They're wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/fox or text FOX to 511-511.
Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Attention, small business owners. Do you need funding for your business? At lendseek.com, we provide revenue-based working capital programs from $20,000 to $1 million. So whether it's funding for inventory, equipment, expansion, payroll, or other needs, seek no more. All it takes is just one simple application to access over 100 funding products that are powered through our breakthrough AI-enabled lending platform to get you the best options in today's marketplace. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of at least $50,000, you could receive the business funding you need when it matters most, regardless of your personal credit score. Funds in your account in just 24 hours with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. There's no obligation and zero out-of-pocket costs. So apply for the business funding you need today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
At Stearns & Foster, your comfort is our everything. So we've made a mattress that's irresistible, inside and out. Every stitch, every layer is handcrafted using the finest materials, like indulgent memory foam. and ultra-conforming IntelliCoils for coziness and support and your most comfortable sleep every single night. Stearns & Foster, what comfort should be. During our July 4th sale, save $400 on select mattresses. Shop now at stearnsandfoster.com.
Arrowhead Stadium, the site for the second all-time Copa America meeting between the United States and Uruguay. U.S. side featuring none other than one Alexi Lawless. Fell 1-0 in the 93 group stage. Way to let us down, Lex. Our players to watch, sponsored by Lowe's. We started this tournament asking the question, who is going to be that go-to man up front and score the goals for the U.S.? Flo Balogun has answered those questions.
He has proved it. He's earned his starting spot. And, you know, the biggest thing that a number 9 is judged on is scoring goals. So you got to get in there, you got to score goals. He's done an exceptional job of creating his own goal-scoring opportunities. So he's going to have to do that again tonight. He's going to have to get on the end of crosses and make things happen. But he has proved that he's a starting number 9.
2 goals in 2 games.
Yeah, look, I'm going to look to Weston McKennie. If this is a slow burn of a tournament, then this is where he has to ignite because he was not good in the first game, better in the second game, and he has got to step it up big time tonight. And you talk about someone in that midfield that can both foul but also can get up and down and maraud. That's what I like. I like him as a marauder, and I want him to maraud tonight.
Go maraud.
There you go.
I like Christian Pulisic. He already has a goal and assist in this tournament. He scored 30 goals. He's only 25 years old, so he's starting to get into his prime. And in big moments, he comes up huge for this team, and I think he'll do that again tonight.
He was huge in the opener against Bolivia with a goal and an assist. 2-0 win for the U.S. After that 1-0 loss to Panama, and now they're in this situation against Uruguay. Remember, nobody in Group C has officially advanced or been eliminated, so it all comes down to the 2 matches kicking off shortly. USA, Uruguay from KC on FS1, Bolivia, Panama live on FS2. U.S. fans hoping that by night's end, they'll be the ones celebrating a quarterfinal berth. Walkouts, anthems, next.
Spend 4th of July in the Hamptons with the superstars of electronic dance music. Vibe to sets from Swedish House Mafia, Sophie Tucker, Kygo, and many more. Captured live at Palm Tree Festival 2024, all throughout Independence Day, starting Thursday, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Let's go. On BPM, Channel 52, and the Sirius XM app.
Hello, everyone. Todd Rampey here from Wealth Builders Institute. I'm going to be quick and ask you a few questions. Do you have more money today than you did last year? If not, do you have a plan to make more money? And I mean right now, because the clock is ticking and prices keep going up. You're not alone if you don't, but I have a solution that you can do from home. You've heard my ads about learning to day trade stock options. That's all I do. I trade intraday market reversals in the first 2 hours the stock market is open. And I do it with weekly options because you can literally rent 1,000 shares of stock for less than 2% of what they cost. Want to find out how? Call now and I'll send my $500 options video training lesson for free. No credit card required. Look, I've been following this same method for 25 years, and I don't care if the market goes up, down, or sideways. So call 800-881-5252 now to get your free video lesson, and I'll even include a copy of my book, Get Paid, Learn to Trade. 800-881-5252. 800-881-5252. That's 800-881-5252.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. trial. That's PHILO.TV.
Hello, I'm James Corden, and my show is called This Life of Mine. Join me for incredible conversations from the biggest stars at the very top of their field. Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on Stars, Channel 109, or listen on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Right now, as difficult as it is, you have to let go. Let go of the past.
They have been beaten tonight. Panama coming from behind.
The best laid plans just got thrown out the window.
Everything imaginable went wrong.
Let go of all the math, all the possible futures, and control this massive opportunity standing right in front of you. The goal hasn't changed. Beat the best teams in the world.
Now they have to beat 15-time champion Uruguay.
Well, here they are. A soccer giant with all their history, all their pedigree.
The Uruguay team is running riot.
That Uruguay team, that's the class of the tournament so far.
Let go of yesterday, of tomorrow, and prove you belong here, now, with one of the best in the world. USA, Uruguay. Starts now on Fox.
Huge turnout in Arrowhead Stadium tonight, where the U.S. looks to secure a quarterfinal berth at this Copa America. Under pressure, Greg Berhalter and his camp facing 15-time Copa winners. Uruguay, you see the temperature right now, high 70s. Yes, there is some Uruguayan support there, but the majority of it covered in red, white, and blue. Rob Stone, Clint Dempsey, Carly Lloyd, Alexi Lawless here with you. How big of a factor is that home crowd tonight, Clint, for a game like this?
I mean, I think it's huge. It's your 12th man. And in big games, it's good to have that crowd behind you. But at the same time, you got to give them a reason to cheer. And how you do that is you get stuck in on 50-50 challenges. You play forward when you can. You take players off the dribble in 1v1 situations. And you test the keeper. And you score goals. And that's how you get the crowd on your side.
This Uruguay team comes out of the gate smoking. First two games, in the first 20 minutes, combined 19 shots. 7 shots on goal and 2 goals. Lex, the U.S. can't just kind of ease their way into this one.
No, they certainly have to set the tone, but they also have to be smart because they can lose this game in the early moments. So they have to understand that the pressure's coming. But this is fun, Rob Stone. This is fun. This is entertainment, talking about the drama and the pressure and the consequences. And we see this team oftentimes play friendly games that don't have this type of meaning. Well, there is a lot on the line tonight.
And we talked about transition and defending the transition and scoring goals, but I think the biggest thing for this U.S. team is also going to be how are they going to play out of the back, especially the pressure that Uruguay is going to put on them. Nunez up top, I mean, he's running all day long on the defensive end, so they're going to have to be very, very clean.
It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be romantic. It has to be successful. And this team, this U.S. team, they don't need to try to be something that they're not, whether it's playing out of the back or doing things that we haven't seen in the past. If they play individually and collectively up to their capabilities, they certainly have a chance to beat this Uruguay team.
The captain, Christian Pulisic, saying before this tournament started, we need to find a way to get results in the biggest games. That is the next step for us, a massive opportunity to take that step next as we close in on the 2026 World Cup and the U.S. tries to close in on a quarterfinal berth here at the Copa America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as you're able to remove your caps for the national anthem of Uruguay.
Señoras y señores, nos ponemos en posición para el himno nacional de Uruguay.
Rusia y que lo es el mono del alma Rusia y que lo sabe.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of the United States of America.
Señoras y señores, nos mantenemos en posición para el himno nacional de los Estados Unidos.
Can Team USA survive and advance out of Group C? John Strong, Stu Holden with the call next.
Here's what's happening on SiriusXM Sports.
Pivotal group stage finale for the U.S. men's national team as they try to advance to the Copa America knockout round facing Uruguay tonight in Kansas City. Hear all the action beginning at 9 Eastern on Fox Sports Radio, SiriusXM Channel 83. Join the post-match conversation on SiriusXM FC 157, also on the all-new SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM Sports, wherever you are. Your team plays here.
Saturday is Baseball Night in America on Fox. The brightest stars and the biggest games take center stage. This week, Christian Yelich and the Brewers take on Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers.
Monster shot!
Or Bryce Harper and the Phillies take on Matt Olson and the Braves. It's Baseball Night in America, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Hello from the loudest stadium in the world. Can the Arrowhead faithful do for their country tonight what they have done for their Chiefs so many times before at the conclusion of Copa America group play between the United States and Uruguay?
Oh, you saw a shot there of Greg Berhalter, a man under pressure, and boy, would he love his team to get the job done tonight. He makes one change for the match against Panama. That's Yunus Musa coming into the midfield. Tim Weah, of course, suspended not just 1 but 2 games he would miss if the U.S. do advance. Weston McKennie singing a yellow card as part of that 3-man midfield. Christian Pulisic making his 71st appearance for the United States as he captains the team once again. 30 goals for him. Unchanged back line, 5th straight match with the same back line for the United States. Can this team get the job done today? Gio Reyna, interesting note, I expect to see him on the left there and not on the right. Pulisic will be on the right, expecting Reyna to tuck inside. Rochette will be starting in the goal for Uruguay and Marcelo Bielsa. A lot of conversation coming into this one. Would he rest players with Uruguay sitting on 6 points? The answer is no. He rolls out an unchanged lineup from that 5-0 win against Bolivia. Darwin Nunez, who starts up front, the man from Liverpool, he scored his last 7 competitive matches for Uruguay, making his 26th appearance today. Pelistri, the man from Manchester United, was on loan last season in La Liga. He starts on the right-hand side. He has scored the opening goal against Bolivia last time out.
Simultaneous kickoffs about to occur both here in Kansas City and in Orlando, where Bolivia and Panama will play. And as much as for the United States, all they can really do and think about is getting the right kind of result. The fact of the matter is the result in that other game has just as much to do with whether or not the men of the United States will play on to the quarterfinal round this weekend. And they're a few seconds ahead of us. They were ready to go in Orlando. We are ready to go here in Kansas City. Can these guys get the job done? We are underway. It is the United States wearing white. Whether you want to call them Uruguay or Uruguay, they are also La Celeste, the Sky Blues. And for the United States, the hope is that this game wasn't really going to matter much. It was just going to be about placement for the group. Both teams knew they were going through. And then Tim Weah got the earliest red card for a U.S. player since 2010. The lead from Flo Balogun's shorthanded goal was short-lived. With Matt Turner out hurt at halftime, Ethan Horvath couldn't get out the eventual game winner. And now Greg Berhalter's been in exactly the spot they did not want to have to be in, needing to get a result against Uruguay, the 15-time Copa America champions, tied with Argentina for the most in the competition's history. It's not been a great couple years for them, but boy, are they re-energized under Marcelo Bielsa. They've lost just twice in the last year. They were the top goal scorers in South American World Cup qualifying in the fall as McKennie got to that one. Rochette didn't get to it, and the flag does come up late. That is what assistant referees have been instructed to do. Hold the flag for a moment just to be sure that ball is out of play. And there you see Pablo Quiroga, and on his left is Diego Reyes, the two assistant coaches of a Uruguay team that has Bielsa suspended up in the stands, but they're off to their best start at a Copa America since the 1960s. As you said, they're not for sure in. They have something to play for here. What's this thing going to look like?
Well, take a look at the pressing structure right now from the U.S. They're actually bringing Pulisic and Reyna in tight, dropping Balogun underneath on Ugarte, and that one's going to get him behind. Chris Richards going to get there first. Oh, boy.
Underhit pass that Matt Turner's just two in time in front of Darwin Nunez.
Well, and my pregame hit was all about this, taking care of the ball in the back for the United States. This is a high-octane team from Uruguay. They want to press up against you. They want to try to win the ball back and play transition. You can't take chances in the back.
Pulisic couldn't bring it down cleanly, able to control, able to cut inside on Vinas. McKennie, and it bounced off Pulisic. It was meant for Joe Scally.
And the last part of this is going to be a fast-paced game. You're seeing it already through 2 minutes here. The ball is flying end-to-end. It's a slick surface. I was down there. The grass is cut really short. That ball is going to roll. It's going to fly. You're going to see players turning the ball in behind defenses, trying to run. Big question for the U.S. is, can they match the intensity of Uruguay?
And our first look at Turner, you might be able to see there's a little bit of wrapping just on his left quad where he took the contusion that took him out of the game. We're not in Atlanta. That looked like it might have been a handball there on Matias Oliveira. It's not whistled on the field. Scally got a piece of that one just to steer it further away from Maxi Araujo.
Just a couple early observations. One, as soon as Uruguay win the ball in the early stages of the game, not even a hesitation. They dump the ball into the channel behind the fullbacks, try to squeeze up. The second, whenever the ball goes back to Matt Turner, early in the game, not even thinking about it, just hoofing the ball long. U.S. trying to squeeze the game and play to Uruguay's hand.
He's going to pick that one up. He's tripped up. No, the referee says that's not a foul. What would have been a good U.S. free kick chance. Richards, an important tackle. Adams picks it up in the middle. It is a very young and inexperienced referee tonight, Kevin Ortega of Peru. How does he handle this match will be a big part. Robinson, too far for Musa.
Yeah, I got to say, I felt that Gio Reyna was fouled there. And it came off a long direct ball. Second balls that are going to be so important in this game for the U.S. to be first ones there. Have a look at it. Bounces off of Pellistri. Then Gio Reyna looked like he was pulled. Even some contact on the leg. So first decision that the referee had to make.
He's 32
to play on.
Years of age. He has a lot of experience as a fourth official, including at the World Cup in Qatar. This is just his 7th career senior international match that he's been given the assignment of. And it's a very inexperienced pair of assistant referees he's with as well tonight. Araujo hands it off for Viña. Playing it back inside for Maxi Araujo. Mr. McKennie defending. Well, it's either going to be a foul or a handball there. It's got to be one or the other.
I think it might be a U.S. free kick. Yeah, it is going to be.
And maybe for dangerous play in the end.
Araujo didn't get the initial one when he was on the ground. Good physical play here from Weston McKennie. Look, both players have got a hold of each other's shirts. I think that's why he doesn't get the foul. And then this is what the call is for there. That's dangerous play. He's putting a head in when there's been no whistle. So Good decision there. U.S. free kick. Matt Turner's going to take it.
And you can see on his left leg, the wrapping there, the left leg contusion. Greg Berhalter telling us in the team hotel yesterday, the final sort of red light, green light decision was, can he sprint without pain? Can he jump without pain? Can he land on that and dive without pain? He's been able to pass all those tests to be in the starting lineup tonight. And Joe Scally could tackle one there. McKennie into a dangerous area that Ream is able to clean up. De La Cruz is chasing him down. Turner able to lob it up for Tim Ream. Adams carrying forward. Anthony Robinson making a big run up the left. It comes short to Reyna. A little first touch around Pelistri. Inside, too far for Anthony Robinson.
I think you're going to see a lot of the U.S. attacks down that left-hand side because of
Richards misread that bounce. It looked like good tackle in there by Adams. McKennie, Balogun behind Pulisic. But the speed to get there.
The midfield cleaning up a lot right now. That's what you want in a game like this. Tyler Adams all over the field. That's going to be a free kick for the U.S. McKennie's winning second balls. Musa as well. Good intensity early here from the United States. Araujo just completely cleans out Joe Scally.
We said all tournament, this is a huge point of emphasis. Well, in the last couple of years for the United States, they're on their second set-piece specialist head coach. Christian Pulisic has been the set-piece taker. Thought they had an early goal from a set-piece Thursday night in Atlanta.
So starting a couple of players right now. Ream and McKennie are starting in an offside position. And that's the referees having a bit of a conversation with them about either when they're trying to come back onside, obstructing. That's a point of emphasis. But they're going to try and jump back on as Uruguay drops off here.
Pulisic. Ream got his head to it and whistled for a foul in there anyway. Let's hear more about Matt Turner, what he's gone through to get on the field tonight from Jenny Taft down on the field. Jenny.
Well, John, ultimately the decision was yesterday at training. Matt Turner telling Greg Berhalter if he could train at 100%, he wanted to be able to play tonight. That was the case. He said he felt good at training. Obviously, so much rehab, making sure his body was right for this. But the last couple days, he has continued to say, I am not going to miss this opportunity.
Uruguay trying to go quick on that free kick there as Anthony Robinson's whistled for a foul. It's Facundo Pelistri being held back to his feet.
The U.S. are not making it easy for Uruguay to build out of the back, especially. Gio Reyna's coming in from the left, getting pressure on one of the two center backs. Anthony Robinson stepping. Everybody squeezes, and they all go off the trigger of the front three. So when they press, they all try to press. That's a nice ball, heavy touch from De La Cruz. And he's a danger man. Team high, 5 chances created for them in the last match. He plays in that number 10 role, can drift, has the freedom in that pocket. Here's Pulisic.
Pulisic trying to get forward there, and a late recovery by Ronald Araujo to tackle it out. And yes, it is the all-22 look that we're being given tonight on the Commonwealth World Feed television broadcast from Arrowhead Stadium. As Pulisic had that one knocked out. They're trying to get on the run. Darwin Nunez has scored in 7 straight games, tying an all-time Uruguay record. He weaves his way around. Nunez with the speed, hands it off. It's too far for Araujo. Might have been offside anyway.
Well, just a glimpse of what he's capable of himself. So powerful and still dynamic in the way in which he runs and picks up speed. Just direct. This is a hallmark of this team, the way in which they crash. He could have released that ball a little bit earlier, had 2 runners, decided to go a little bit longer, released it late. They were offside at that point, but that's a danger for the U.S. when they beat players off the dribble and open up spaces.
Berhalter said to us last night that was really the biggest bullet point he was giving the team, defensive transition. He said they're so good on the counter, it's ridiculous, Uruguay. That's been a huge talking point preparing for this match. Adams for Pulisic. Pulisic trying to weave his way inside, tripped up by Darwin Nunez. Free kick for the United States. Nunez with 10 goals in those 7 consecutive matches that he has scored in. He has been lights out in the last year. Sergio Rochet One shutout already, just one goal allowed, has only faced 4 shots in 2 games. Everybody back to defend for Uruguay. As Christian Pulisic sets the ball. Pulisic swings that one in. McKennie's in the area. He was just too tall for him. Rojo got the clearing touch. De La Cruz just blasts it high and out of the stands.
Yeah, 2 good services, though, from Pulisic, putting pressure on that back line from Uruguay. And the U.S. basically had everybody up. And Greg Berhalter getting a look, I'm sure, at some of the different looks. The way in which Uruguay are defending, the way they're attacking, the way they're defending set pieces, communicating that to his players throughout. I think he'd be happy with the start from his team here.
De Balaguer knocks it down. McKennie trying to control. Reyna was in the area. McKennie couldn't get there in time. It goes long. Richards in a foot race. He's going to lose because of the spin of that ball. And Nunez just fell over. That's not a foul. Just miscontrolled it out. Turf Goblin got him.
Yeah, watch this. He's trying to get his body across Chris Richards. His left foot just digs into the grass. Whoop.
And you get a sense of where he left his divot there. What were your thoughts? So you talked about a little bit. They've watered the field. It's incredibly humid here.
I thought the surface was playing nice. There's a big crown on it. We had a ton of rain here in the Kansas City area earlier. Good work from Reyna to get out of pressure.
And find the pass. Hands off for Anthony Robinson. He's under pressure. Got away with that one. Did he nutmeg that one through? Looking all the way wide, and the U.S. has a corner.
Now this was something to watch. I went down to the field, was watching during warm-ups. You'll see there's not much space in the corners for, in this case, it's going to be Pulisic to really get a run-up. He's trying to get the crowd fired up right now. You can't see it off screen, but he's going to the crowd, signaling, let's go. They know that how big this moment is for this team.
You get a sense of how tight the stands are to the edges of the field here at Arrowhead Stadium. Pulisic's in-swinger. Reyna was up for it. Ream was up for it. Anthony Robinson, second header, and Balogun just couldn't get there in time in front of Rochette. He had his body in the way there to prevent Rochette from getting clean contact on that Anthony Robinson fighting through De La Cruz. Adams gets through a tackle. Options either side. That's Gio Reyna cross on the deck for Balogun. Then Rochette snares.
Oh, what a great move. We've seen the United States being first to almost every second ball, and Tyler Adams at the heart of it. He starts this move, wins the ball in the middle, and field well-placed ball to Reyna, fires it across, but Rochette, he just gambled and anticipated. He saw that ball, the body shape from Reyna, that he was going to play it, and he cuts it off because Balogun had made a fantastic run right down the middle of the field.
McKennie knocks that pass away.
And yes, this is not a stadium for ants. This is a very high.
I'm honestly laughing at it because it's about 6 stories up the elevator from where the other cameras are next to us here. But
look, for the tactics junkies, I'm sure this is great.
Oh, Balogun, great strength to try to get around. Rojo comes across to clear it out for a U.S. throw. This is again where you lose it because Weston McKennie doesn't have much space to run up to take this throw.
Very tight on the corners.
Scally short for Pulisic, back for Joe Scally. McKennie in for Scally now as he tripped up. Referee says no to that one. And this is where the U.S. got to be so careful in the defensive transition moments. Palistри's chasing. Anthony Robinson able to shield that ball out for a throw. And there is a relentlessness to this, and Matt Turner takes the touch, and now it's Richards under immediate pressure. And now Scally. That one tailed out. Scally was fouled as he released the pass, though, by Darwin Nunez.
It's going to take a little touch. It's going to be and look, this has been a fantastic first 15. I don't think the U.S. could have asked for much more from this. But the challenge is in a game like this to keep up the intensity against a team of Uruguay's quality over the course of 90 minutes is unrealistic. There's going to be spells where they get back into the game with the ball. So while you're on top, you've got to find a way to create good quality chances and try to take the lead, knowing that this is essentially a game the United States have to win without relying on some help from the other game.
Musa gives that away. Good tackle by Gio Reyna.
But the other important part is something Clint referenced in the pregame about getting this crowd behind you. How do you do that? You start like this, because this crowd has gone up a level, and the team is feeding off it.
Most of them are standing in this lower level here. We were told yesterday more than 50,000 tickets had been sold. We've crossed the quarter-hour mark both here and in Orlando. No score in either game, and the first 21 minutes have been key. There is a relentlessness to how Uruguay start. They've been able to run away from both of their first two opponents late. It's the middle period between 20-something minutes and 75 where the statistics actually do even out quite a bit. The suggestion in the data is that if you can get through the first 20 minutes, life can be much better. Adams, that's a hard hit on Oliveira, as Adams was late to that one. They're both down hurt.
That's a tough one for Adams, because it was a nice ball from Chris Richards into a good spot. He made a nice run. You see him often as the holding player of the midfield three. He sensed the gap when the pressure. He made a nice run into the gap. He finds it, but the touch was a bit heavy. And then he got caught in that hesitation of, can I get there? Should I let it go? Chris Richards comes up. Pressures come from the outside. There's the gap. He releases. That touch is a little heavy. And then Oliveira gets there first. We'll see just how bad this one is. Well, actually, Oliveira ends up standing on Tyler Adams' leg as well. Watch this. So I actually think that's a foul the other way when you see that, because
it's not going to be given like that, though.
No, I know. Yeah, Tyler Adams is going to pick up a yellow card for that. He's kind of bewildered, and my initial instinct was with the referee. But to be honest, when I saw that replay, Oliveira catches Adams on the ankle. And
listen, this has been a concern in all three games. Missed calls by the officials. Weston McKennie got a yellow card on a clean tackle. In the match against Bolivia, there was a concern early with some missed calls by the referee in the game in Atlanta against Panama. Even though the red card was correct. You look at Luis Suarez on the bench. Will we see him tonight? Uruguay's all-time records goal scorer, named today to the MLS All-Star team, voted in by the fans for his season with Inter Miami. But that's a part of the theme. The U.S. is going to have to deal with physical play, and you're not necessarily going to get the calls. And speaking of things they didn't get here, normally, because the U.S. is the designated home team, Team A, they would normally get, if there's a discrepancy, the nicer of the two locker rooms. That's standard protocol for international matches. That did not happen here. Uruguay is in the Chiefs' home locker room, which is very plush. The U.S. is in the visiting team locker room, which is very much not so plush. And that fact it was not lost by U.S. soccer officials.
Yeah, perhaps the main camera is up in the visiting locker room as well, up in the rafters. Again, not our choice. This is a World Feed production provided by Comnibol.
And then that was Ugarte was caught in the face. Can the U.S. go quick? Pulisic trying to get on the end of it. And Rojo heads it out. Pulisic wanted to go quick, but Uruguay were able to scramble bodies back. So again, scoreless in both games right now. As it stands, the U.S. are advancing. The night is young. We'll keep you up to date on what's happening in both places. And Uruguay not fully set. They're not 100% in. It would take an awful lot for them not to be in as Rain is fouled.
Yeah, that little moment is so important from Tim Ream there, to be able to play out a pressure like that by having the composure just to get turned on De La Cruz. And the reason being is that Uruguay like to press the ball. And if they start to smell a little bit of blood, and they're going to keep hunting. When you can turn and you can show them that you have composure on the ball and you can play out a pressure, it's going to make them hesitate on their pressure and back off just a touch. So really good work there from Ream.
Anthony Robinson rides the challenge. Another free kick coming for the U.S.
And you can hear the crowd getting agitated too. This is accumulation. You got to start giving out cards here, because Uruguay clearly trying to stop this momentum that the United States have right now. They're fouling, and anytime somebody comes into this type of space, great work from Robinson, turns the corner, and instantly Nandez says, nope, you're not going by me, buddy, and just yanks him down. That's it. That's a yellow based on not just maybe the first foul for him, the accumulation of fouls across the field. But another good set piece opportunity here for the U.S.
Pulisic over it. Everyone back for Uruguay. Pulisic drives that one in. That's all the way through and too far. Greg Berhalter told us yesterday that you handle pressure with preparation. That's how you calm your nerves, is by being prepared. That's where you get the confidence from. Even as he admitted, there's so much about this game that any coach, let alone one who's up in the stands like Marcelo Bielsa is and his assistant taking charge for him, so little you can control in this sport. As Musa blocks that pass out. Hooked in the air, Anthony Robinson's header. Couldn't quite find Balogun cleanly. Second header, and head tennis, in fact, right now. Ream, first to react in front of Nunez. Reina challenged in the air.
This is a fun game. This is a fun game. It's just, the intensity is there, and it's been there from the very first minute. And, Tim Ream takes a bit of a knock there after that diving head. Now, he did pick up a double check which hand it was on, though. He had a broken forearm with Fulham this past season.
Balogun had it knocked away. Scally takes a big bump as he heads it in. Anthony Robinson missed control. They was trying to pass it back from Musa. Adams wasn't there in time. De La Cruz on the run. McKinney trying to catch him. That's off of Joe Scally's heel. Job not done as it comes wide. Nantes clips it in. Richard sends it out. Anthony Robinson further forward. Balogun for Reina. Does he have an option upfield?
Looked like a handball.
Nantes sliding through, U.S. throw. Round of 16 of the Euros concludes tomorrow. Romania against the Netherlands on FS1, followed by Austria against Turkey on Fox. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. Turner under pressure, sends that out. Panama have taken the lead against Bolivia in Orlando. So the U.S. now on the outside looking in. Robinson couldn't quite get there in time. Forces Pellistri back, though. Jose Fajardo scored the winning goal Thursday night in Atlanta against the United States, putting Panama up, and as it stands, into the knockout round. And it's about matching the Panama result or bettering it.
You can see the offensive setup right now of Uruguay. So many numbers centrally.
Pulisic, can he get to that one? Nods it backwards, and that will come all the way through as Viña made the run upfield. First corner of the night for Uruguay.
But as much as anything, they wanted to slow the game down there, which is kind of crazy to say about Uruguay. But they've been under a lot of pressure. And then they waited for Viña to get into attacking position. Floats the ball behind, and the U.S. have their first corner to defend.
And this is the stretch where they do slow it down in their first two games after that 20-21 minute mark. Big boys are up from the back. De La Cruz in swinging ball, and the U.S. repelled that in a crash of bodies. Ream is down. Man down for Uruguay as well, and real concern. And really, really big concern right now from Uruguay. Trying to get medical attention out on the field as fast as possible.
You can see the U.S. players around the referee as well, by the way, Kevin Ortega, and I'm sure giving him an earful about just the persistent infringement, the lack of yellow cards towards Uruguay.
And they hush right now at Arrowhead Stadium.
The Uruguayan players all crowded around right now, making sure that they just get full medical attention.
And we do just want to be 100% certain before we identify who we think the player is who's down receiving this attention. And you could see the real looks of concern on the faces of the Uruguayan players. And it is indeed who we thought. We just wanted to get a second look to be sure. Maxi Araujo, who is being stretchered off.
You can see there they've got his neck in a brace. So we'll wait to get an official update of what exactly his potential injury is. But it happened. There was a lot of bodies at that near post when that ball came in.
Christian Oliveira in MLS, who played just 4 minutes off the bench against Bolivia, will be the replacement. And Tim Ream, incidentally, is up and moving fine. He will have to go to the side as we restart play with a drop ball. Confirmation of the substitution, and Oliveira, had there been 23-man rosters, maybe he might not have made it. But the rosters were extended to 26 in the weeks before the tournament. His 7 goals in 18 games this season for LAFC. Terrific progress that he's shown in his second year with them. And he is now on the field in the group stage finale.
You know, sometimes when you get an injury like that in the middle of a very intense game and it had already slowed down just a touch, the challenge is to get back up to that. So you try to set that intensity again with a tackle and passing movement. Great ball from Reyna.
Weston McKennie in for Balogun. Does he go down? What's the call from the referee? The flag comes up for offside. Now Balogun's down hurt. He's calling for medical attention. Rochette is down hurt. Still the referee is not looking at them to wave the athletic training staff and the medical staff onto the field.
What a great move. Now, it'll be interesting to see if Balogun is onside or off, because I think it's a penalty if he's on. But that flag went up pretty quickly there from the assistant referee. Balogun gets cleaned out from behind. First of all, contact, and Rochette was coming off his line. They smacked together. Boy, this has been such a physical game early on. My goodness. And just a reminder, we're at the mercy of the world feed from replays. We didn't get a look at the replay on the one down the other end. This one, I hope we get a good look at this to see if he's onside.
Carlos Orbe of Ecuador is the video assistant referee.
So first of all, good work from Robinson. That first touch pass from Reyna is fantastic. And yeah, he's pretty clearly offside here. Flo Balogun couldn't get back on. I'm not sure if he expected it to come first time from Weston McKennie. That's the type of movement and type of offense you want from the U.S. He gets inside Araujo, who gets a slight touch on the ball, but I gotta say, I still feel like that's a foul, because that ball is still there to be played, and he just smashes Balogun in. Okay, so now we're gonna get a look at the one from earlier with Araujo. Oh boy, yeah. That's why we waited on the replay. You can see there's a coming together there with Araujo and Ream, and then you saw his neck just get jammed into the ground there. Brutal. So hoping, yeah, really scary. Hoping for the best for him.
So Flo Balogun trying to get back to his feet. Has scored in each of the first 2 games after coming in with no goals in his prior 6 for the U.S. before Copa America. We've lost large chunks of time here, and we'll see. I don't know if anyone felt that there was quite enough stoppage time added. Certainly in the second half Thursday night. We'll see if the proper amount is added here tonight. But a game which was wickedly fast-paced in the opening 20 minutes has, because of the injuries, slowed to a crawl as we approach the half-hour mark. Panama leading Bolivia in Orlando. The U.S. going out of the Copa America in the group stage as it stands. Balogun back in the play. Can he return wide? Long run for Yunus Musa. He's going to get there to get to that ball. He does. Musa has it knocked out for a U.S. throw. Terrific speed from Yunus Musa on his first start of the tournament.
Yeah, Gio Reyna's looked really lively, too, on that left side. Just his one-touch passing, also a recognition and understanding when he needs to slow it down, take defenders on. He looks like he's in a good zone right now, and Balogun's taking up good spots. Look, U.S. is playing well, playing really well through 30 minutes, but it's still 0-0. They've got to find a way to score.
McKennie. Trying to do something with it down in the corner. Ball still in play. Tangle of bodies. Ream first to that one. Recycle the last man back, Chris Richards, and De La Cruz in a dead sprint at him. All the way back to Nat Turner. De La Cruz does not stop his running. Turner able to get rid of it long. Can't connect with Pulisic, though. U.S. needing a goal to flip back up to the top two in the group and advance to the quarterfinal round this Saturday.
You need a bit better from Matt Turner there. Even though he's got De La Cruz hunting him down, the U.S. had a good spell and just chose to recycle it. You got to give somebody in a white shirt a chance on that service. He underhits it straight to Uruguay. Now they're in possession of the ball in the U.S.'s half.
Moves that down at the chest there. It worked from Oliveira. Comes in the middle of the field behind De La Cruz. And now they're trying to get Pulisic on the run. Araujo coming across. Pulisic, can he get there? And just in the last moment, hesitated. Some contact there. It's not a foul. Pulisic didn't have anyone joining him upfield. Back in for Tyler Adams. Pulisic is McKennie running. Still trying to work on that tight sideline. Musa. The first touches, clean control of the ball is so important against an opponent like this.
And it's been good so far. Look how they're able to play out of that pressure, get out the other side. That's a bit of a risk there from Ream.
Now they got to defend the other way. Ream coming in from behind. Richards, the big tackle. Didn't get there in time. Yellow card, Chris Rich. Well, now we're going to keep playing on. We come the other way. Ream clears it away. But if
that's
the referee
ridiculous.
is showing a yellow card.
He's showing a yellow card and allowing him to play on. That's ridiculous.
He cannot give advantage. And now it's going to come
Greg
back.
Berhalter is furious right now, and he should be. That's insane. It's insane. There's a man down on the ground. He's already got the yellow card out of his hand. He's giving a yellow card, and then all of a sudden turns around and lets them play on. That would have been insane if that was a goal. Great work by Ream, first of all.
Dr. Joe Macknick, our rules analyst and former FIFA match commissioner. Give us your thoughts.
Well, absolutely, John. The referee's inexperience in a situation like this has come to the forefront. Once you may even make a motion that you're going to caution the player without even pulling the card. Here he's pulling out the card and stopping the card. Now you have to have what's called an orchestrated restart, where the defensive team is given the opportunity to position themselves.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dr. Joe. And watch him here to the right. Look, he's got the yellow card. It's coming up, and then he says, oh, yeah, play on. No, you can't. So what would have been very interesting is, does that come back for a review, even if that goes in? Dr. Joe, could that be reviewed in that moment?
Well, we have to wait, Stu, to see where the restart is going to be made here. I mean, if he brings the play back and gives the restart to Uruguay at the center of the field where the foul was, that's the correct decision here. The yellow card still applies.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to actually give a throw, so letting that play stand.
Richards' yellow means he would be suspended if they get to the quarterfinal.
Yeah. Look, who could have seen that coming with an inexperienced ref with these two teams with so much at stake and the physicality of the game, and also not giving out yellows early in the game? It's frustrating because this has been a great game to watch, the early parts. There's so much quality and there's such an intensity, but the challenge for the U.S. also becomes you have to manage your emotions here and not get carried away now and don't get sucked into that type of game, because that's what Uruguay won.
Matias Vigna hooks in the cross. Robinson got to be careful, and that works in the end because Turner was alert. But it is something you hear about in the world of soccer, that you're playing sometimes against the referee as much as you're playing against the other team. Not because there's bias or corruption, but sometimes just not getting a standard that is required of a tournament of this magnitude in history. Christian Oliveira took it away, cuts it in. Adams sends it out. Now there's space for Pulisic. Balogun, he's onside right now. Gets the pass. McKennie running to the center. Araujo with a big tackle coming in. Both guys are down. We play on despite the fact that both of them are down and holding their heads. And Kevin Ortega finally does now stop the play so that these potential head injuries can be looked at.
Look at Araujo. He just anticipates and goes full speed into that challenge. Balogun gets caught a little bit. I think he underestimated or overestimated the speed of the ball, and it slows up. And then Araujo says, you're not going for that. I'm going to take you. I'm going to take your feet after. You're going to crash into me. We're going to have just a little cuddle on the ground, but look, I don't know what Uruguay expected from the U.S. in this game, but they've had to raise their intensity as well, which is saying a lot from what the U.S. has brought early in the game. But they've basically shown, okay, this is the game you guys want. Let's go. We can do this.
These are the types of games, and we've heard Alexi and Carly and Clint talking about in the studio. These are the types of games you get in at this level. These are the types of games that this group, they're not young anymore. In fact, these have been among the most experienced lineups Greg Berhalter has put on the field in his time as U.S. coach.
Yeah, but these are the
types of games that got to find a way to win.
Got to find a way to win, but these are the games and the moments you want. This is why you play the sport. Look, I was down on the field before the game, and I was having to be held back from security from trying to throw on a shirt and get out there. You know, you can just feel it on a night like this, and the crowd feels it, and they're into it, and the team's into it. They're putting on something right now that has everybody believing they can do this, and they need to do it. That's the reality for this generation of players.
Well, Araujo on the side right now. Uruguay playing with 10 as Ream wins the header. Araujo still has not been allowed out. Musa miscontrolled a bouncing ball. Araujo coming out now. Anthony Robinson tackles it out. We've had 10 fouls called. That's 11. We've had 2 shots taken in 37 minutes. Free kick coming for Uruguay now. And they've been very good on set pieces, Uruguay. Of the 8 goals that they have scored, 3 have come from dead balls. And Nicolas de la Cruz, who is setting the ball, has been involved.
Yeah, just a little overly aggressive there from Tyler.
He's been involved in most of them. 2 assists and another that it was his free kick in. He didn't get the assist on. De la Cruz deep to the back post. That ball still in play. It's picked up on the near side by Christian Oliveira. Cuts it back on Scally. Oliveira's cross into the middle, and it was missed. It was Nunez who scored in 7 straight games who puts it wide.
Yes, Scally actually overcommits here defending this cross from Oliveira, and he sells it really well, cuts back to create separation. Watch how he's able to keep it in. But then as he gets on the right foot, boom, gets him with that little Cruyff turn, and then it creates the gap, and it's a nice ball because everybody's anticipating it's going to be around the 6-yard box, and he cuts it back. Came off the shin of Nunez in the end.
Breaks down there, tackled out. And you see there the bandaging that Ronald Araujo of Barcelona has. He actually came off at half of their opener, suffering from dizziness and low blood pressure. He was dehydrated in Miami. So it's been a rough Copa America for him. It's Phil Balogun who comes out of that one in some pain gingerly.
Yeah, he's been in it today.
What, 2 collisions, right?
Yeah.
Araujo and then the one with Rochette, the goalkeeper. So he's wincing and trying to fight through.
But he's not backing down from tackles, though, or challenges, and he's up against 2 big physical center halves.
Still Panama in the lead in Orlando. Still the U.S. going out as it stands, but only a goal away from changing that. Rochette goes wide. Scally out jump. That should be a U.S. throw, and it is. It looks like the U.S. might have to make this sub as Ricardo Pepi's getting himself ready to come on, and Balogun has come back down to the turf. And what a shame it would be if this is the end of his night for how well he has done. But what an opportunity for Ricardo Pepi. Set a record last year. Most goals as a substitute by a U.S. men's player. has had tons of opportunities to score, especially in the Bolivia opener, but also against Panama. It's his chance to turn that around and become a hero for his country in a game they have to win as it stands. Tomorrow on FS1 and FS2, the Copa America group stage concludes. Brazil against Colombia, Costa Rica versus Paraguay. Coverage starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Colombia know they're in. It's either Brazil or Costa Rica who will join them. The 2 out of Group D will play the 2 out of Group C in the quarterfinal round this Saturday. And a good ovation. Fuller and Balogun coming off here late in the first half. Off the throw, U.S. couldn't do anything with it. Pepe 7 shots without scoring. Only Rodrigo of Brazil more shots without a goal in the opening 2 rounds of matches, but the quality of Pepe's shots, 2.72 expected goals, which is to say from where the shots are coming on the field, statistically, historically expected to have scored close to 3 goals by now. That's more than any other player at this tournament. He's been getting great looks, Ricardo Pepi. Can he put one home tonight? Can he get back to that ball? He can. Under hits it for McKennie. Ugarte running forward. Hands it off for De La Cruz. Back into the middle. Richards. Might have been a handball there. Looked like the referee was thinking about calling it. And right as it looked like Pulisic had spun away to run, now he calls it.
There's a clear advantage there with Pulisic. My gosh.
He was waiting to see if there was an advantage.
There was. It was a great turn by Pulisic on Viña. He spins him. But yeah, it hits his hand, but it goes straight to a U.S. player. So play advantage. Let the play develop. And the U.S. was in possession.
And Kevin Ortega, 32 years of age from Peru. His first ever match at a Copa America. Just his 7th senior international game as a center referee. Given this huge assignment between the hosts and Uruguay in a massive match at the end of the group stage. Matias Viña back out wide. Valverde hooks it in. Ream stoops low to head away.
Last thing on the referee, because I think it's pretty clear this big game. This game is too big of a moment for him, and we'll see how he handles the rest of the game. You don't want the ref to be the center of attention. Let the players play. Let the players decide what happens on the field with their individual quality and team qualities. Don't get in the way.
Scally got caught coming forward. Viña around the outside. Able to bring it down. Scally trying to recover. Got to be careful. De La Cruz hooks it in. Takes a deflection to the back post, and it was missed. Pelistri there had a look at it, but it's sliced wide off his foot. And the U.S. wants to go quick. Turner goes long. Pulisic throws his body in. Pepe picks it up. Only he and Pulisic upfield. Great move by Pulisic. Pepe's in the middle. Pulisic's cross too close to Rochet.
Great work there. The U.S. go quick. It's a long ball. Pulisic's not even actually looking at the ball. Almost kind of like a wide receiver does on a long downfield pass. He's looking at the defender's eyes. He gets a touch off the back of his head. Pepe follows it up really well. And then Pulisic's so good 1v1, beats his defender just maybe a half beat on the decision making to square one back.
De La Cruz fouled. Cruz going long, too long. Narrow fields as they have been throughout this Copa America, 70 yards wide. It'll be 75 when the World Cup comes to the U.S. in 2026, including here at Arrowhead Stadium.
That was that long ball. That's what you have to be aware of there. Scally actually stepped into the midfield to try to find the run of De La Cruz. And it was the overlapping run of Viña. They get it to the back post. Anthony Robinson misjudges the flight. And boy, Pelistri, he won that one back. He had so much time. I think he could have taken a touch and had a much better look at goal. That's best chance of the game for Uruguay there.
This gives away possession, though, from the throw.
That's where they have to be a little bit careful, though, the U.S. in the way they're defending. If they don't have pressure, you can't play such a high line.
Hernandez space and time. No one's coming to meet him. Hernandez will just walk it in, crosses it in, over hit. It's going to stay in play on the other side. Viña comes to get it. Vigna hooks the cross in. Matt Turner electing to punch. Got to scramble back to his feet as McKinney, terrific clearance to get it out. This should be a healthy number with the actual amount of time that we've lost.
In that part, so let's see.
So it's whipped for Palistri, knocks it back down. 5. There's zero chance that it should be 5. It would be closer to 9 based on our stopwatch up here in the booth.
I think the crowd agrees.
Valverde, De La Cruz hooked into the middle. On the turn, Oliveira hands it back. De La Cruz, good block by Tyler Adams. So listen, at this point, the U.S., they got to find ways. If they're not going to get the calls, if they're not going to get the right amount of stoppage time, they just got to find a way to score and to win, to match that result from Panama in the other game. Still 1-0 to Panama. They are in the final 30 seconds of first half stoppage time there. Back to Ugarte. Musa heads it away. Pulisic only had Matias Oliveira out there. Couldn't get past him. Nunez back to get it. Darwin Nunez trying to run around Tyler Adams. Richards there. It's knocked away. And goal kick is the decision.
Good defending there by Tyler Adams. First, because he didn't bite on the hesitation from Nunez, like he was going to pass it into De La Cruz, and he cuts back. Richards comes over to help. They get 2v1. So that's okay. There's a little bit of touch on Nunez's feet there, but his momentum's taking him down a little bit at the end of that play, and we get the play on. And to your point, John, about the refereeing in the game and the circumstances, I hope Greg Berhalter doesn't reference it more than just a quick beat in the locker room at halftime, because you don't want your players to start to think that that's an excuse. That's the reality. And you manage it. You have to be smart. You don't let yourself get baited into that game and put the referee in a decision and make those decisions.
Pepe McKinney, Reina couldn't get around.
But focus on the fact that for large majority of this first half, you've been the better team. And you keep going, you hope that big chance is going to come, and when it comes, be ready for it and bury it. But pretty solid first half from the U.S. perspective.
They've gone to the half in Orlando, 1-0 for Panama right now. The U.S. with one shot so far this evening, with 3 minutes of stoppage time to be played. There's Anthony Robinson forcing an early save out of Sergio Rochet. Again, you see just how tight the sidelines are here. McKinney couldn't deal with that. De La Cruz brings it down. Christian Oliveira into the middle. Richards, that was a bobbling ball. He's able to get it clear. Pepe wins the header. McKinney has a half beat here. Didn't hear the footsteps. Able to control on Christian Oliveira. Scally, and he goes down, and he's in some pain, and the yellow card is out of the referee's pocket. This is right in front of the Uruguay bench. Meanwhile, Joe Scally remains down. Oh, there's a push there. De La Cruz just pushed Matt Turner. Darwin Nunez gets the yellow card, and only now does the referee actually look at Scally, realize he's still down hurt, and wave the medical staff onto the field. So Darwin Nunez with the first yellow card a Uruguay player has been shown all tournament.
And if you haven't watched much CONMEBOL,
welcome.
Welcome, first of all. But these are the types of games you get in the big games. I'm talking Uruguay and Brazil, Argentina, the big rivalries. You get matches like this that are physical, that are intense, and of course have the flair and the skill in between, but they're going to make you work for it, and the U.S. have to do that.
The concern here with Scally, he's already in because of an injury. Serginho Dest, who has been the starter for a period of years, tore his ACL this spring with his club team. That's what gave Scally the opportunity to make just his 10th career start. There's Tim Weah, suspended tonight, suspended for the potential quarterfinal as well. Aguchi Onyewu, U.S. legend, works at U.S. Soccer now, sitting next to him. But this is not a position of depth right now. With Scally down hurt, good to see him get back to his feet. And just to clarify, if you are new, when we say CONMEBOL, that is, it's the name of the South American Confederation. It is basically Confederation Sudamericana de Football, and they take the first, the middle, and the last syllable from those words. CONMEBOL, just like CONCACAF, which is the Confederation of North America, Central America, and the Caribbean for association football. Turner again just slices that out.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe his kicking's a little bit hampered by that knock he took the other night. It hasn't been the cleanest part of his game.
Scally back out there, not moving 100% right now. Still moving gingerly. That might be an issue at the half. Now he's on the ball. And boy, don't Uruguay know it as well, because Oliveira's right on top of him, miscontrolled. Pepe in the middle for Musa. Anthony Robinson making a big run up the left to give him some space. What can Musa do with it? McKennie wanted it long, it's short for Reyna. Adams wasn't ready for it. Pulisic comes back to get it. Final seconds of the half. Scally, Pepe off the chest. Reyna, lovely ball, Anthony Robinson. Last chance of the half for the U.S. Sin sends the cross in for Pepe. It never reached him. Araujo heads it away. De La Cruz not fully clear. Reyna trying to control a bouncing ball, just stabs it in the air under pressure. De La Cruz and Adams in a shoving match in there, trying to find the bouncing ball. Richards beaten to it by Nunez. Wedges it away. Pepe wasn't quite able to chase it down. And it will come through harmlessly to Sergio Rochet. And that might be the final action of this first half.
Nice build, though. Show me that ball from Reyna on repeat, by the way, that just like sidewinder ball. But the reason that was so good, that entire move from the U.S., that's how you break the press and the intensity of Uruguay. One-touch passing, in and out, ball from Scally around the corner. Pepe holds it up well. Reyna supports. They get it wide and across for a goal-scoring opportunity. They didn't win the header. That's a good way to end the half. Good, solid first half from the U.S., but as we're going to say, is the games you've got to win.
As it stands, it's not enough with Panama winning the other game in the group. We'll send you to Rob Stone in our studio in Los Angeles. 45 minutes down, 45 to go here in Kansas City. No score between the United States and Uruguay.
The Copa America 2024 halftime show on Fox is presented by BMW. Rob Stone back with you in the studio. The U.S. and Uruguay scoreless at the break. Panama with a 1-0 lead over Bolivia. As things stand, the U.S. crashing out of the Copa America. Coming up, highlights from the first half from Kansas City. We'll show you the goal that Panama scored, and we'll get you ready for tomorrow's round of 16 action out at the Euros.
Embrace the power and speed of the NTT IndyCar Series on SiriusXM.
Joseph Newgarden wins the Indy 500.
The season rolls on Sunday afternoon at 1 Eastern at the Honda Indy 200 at Mid-Ohio.
That was sweet.
Nice job, guys. From the green to the checkers.
Flies under the twin checkers.
Hear every thrilling lap live on IndyCar Nation Channel 218, NBC Sports Audio Channel 85.
Alex Palou. Thank you so much.
And on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Saturday is Baseball Night in America on Fox. The brightest stars and the biggest games take center stage. This week, Christian Yelich and the Brewers take on Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers.
Monster shot.
Or Bryce Harper and the Phillies take on Matt Olson and the Braves.
Wow.
It's Baseball Night in America, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox.
Hi, it's Billy Joel here. It's back. All my music on my very own channel, the Billy Joel Channel.
Because you had to be a big shot.
His songs, his stories. There were these two Italian guys that owned this recording studio. Wow, they had a piano, they had microphones, and I was really impressed. I wanted to know what everything was. What does that do? What does that do? What does that do? The Billy Joel Channel for a limited time, beginning tomorrow. SiriusXM Channel 79 and the SiriusXM app.
If it's always been a dream to go to Paris, why stay in a hotel on the touristy side of Paris? Get an Airbnb on the Paris-y.
Give me that ooey gooey, crispy, crunchy, mouth-watering. Give me that beefy, meaty, grilly, dilly, pickle popping. Give me that burger, sauce and toss and Papa John's. Better get you some cheesy burger pizza at Papa John's.
Blocked from watching the big match? Save the day by using the Bank of America customized cash rewards card and choose to earn 3% cash back on online purchases, like live streaming.
The Summer of Stars continues tomorrow.
with live coverage of the Euros on Fox and FS1.
The Copa America 2024 halftime show on Fox is presented by BMW.
Round of 16 at the Euros continues with 2 more matches tomorrow. First up, Romania and the Netherlands on FS1. Then it's Austria and Turkey live on Fox. Also tomorrow, the conclusion of Group D here at the Copa America. What a good one on FS1. Brazil, Colombia, plus Costa Rica, Paraguay. That one on FS2. The second half from Kansas City and Orlando still to come.
Tap into exclusive performances from the world-famous Tipitinas. As the biggest names in R&B descend on New Orleans. Y'all join me in welcoming Tyrese, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking you to the Big Easy during Essence Festival.
They took this record #1 for me, so give it up for them.
All weekend long, starting Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific, with Kenny Lattimore, Kevin Ross, and more, live in concert. On Heart and Soul, Channel 47, and on the SiriusXM app.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how happy and healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan.
Their jaws are more flexible, their teeth are cleaner, and their coats shinier, and why they seem more youthful even as they age.
I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. I've helped countless dogs thrive with one simple concept. Your dog needs a high-meat diet similar to what their ancestors ate in the wild.
Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend using 50 years of nutritional research and experience, helping dogs make incredible turnarounds. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of Cod Crispies, their wild-caught, ultra-crunchy cod skin treats. Go to drmartypets.com/Fox or text FOX to 511-511.
Your order is backed with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-401-3600. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-401-3600. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-401-3600.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Find out who will finish first in America's second city.
And they say it's hard to pass here on the streets of Chicago. He's proven that he can do it.
Listen to the Grant Park 165 on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio.
Out onto Michigan Avenue in downtown Chicago, Illinois.
Plus, our exclusive driver-to-crew chatter puts you inside the cars as they race through the streets of Chicago.
Thank you, guys.
Don't miss a lap. Sunday at 3:30 Eastern on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
Group C closing in on its dramatic conclusion here at Copa America. The United States seeking that quarterfinal berth. Right now, though, they are not getting the combination of results that they need to advance. We welcome you inside our home. Rob Stone, Clint Dempsey, Carly Lloyd, and Alexi Lawless back here with you. The theme for this Copa for the U.S. was finding a way to get results in the biggest games. That, the next step for this program. Opportunity to do just that against Uruguay tonight in Kansas City. As we take a look at your physical first half highlights, sponsored by BMW.
Yeah, a real Beauty and the Beast type of half after all the pageantries before, and then it was down and dirty. All sorts of interesting things, including plenty of possession and plenty of attack from the U.S. They got to be very happy about this first half. Gio Reyna putting the ball into the box, doesn't quite get through, but real positive stuff from the U.S. You know what's not positive? This referee. Oh my goodness, he had a complete nightmare. Tyler Adams is going to get a yellow card for this. Are you insane? This guy is having a nightmare. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second here. It wasn't all about the referee. Still plenty of opportunity for the U.S.
And just a great sequence here, great scoring opportunity. Balogun, tough tackle there. He was offsides, but just some great combination play by the U.S.
Balogun banged up all first half.
And Lex, the refereeing, this was one to be seen here.
So that's a foul on Chris Richards and a yellow, but
play continues. And Tim Ream saves the day here.
More on the official in a moment as we take one more look at this.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a yellow. Fine. You bring Chris Richards over to give him the yellow, and then, wait, they're already playing?
Tim Ream, credit to Tim Ream, the vet, staying with the play.
Like y'all talked about, U.S. did come out to a flying start and was playing really well, but then as the game went on, Uruguay started getting stronger. Good chance here from Darwin Nunez.
Uruguay 4-1 shot advantage, and then we mentioned Flo getting banged up, his ankle. Not enough to go on, so Ricardo Pepi comes off the bench.
But look, Christian Pulisic is having a great half. Get him the ball as much as possible. And even if it happens off of an advantage here, which is this is an advantage. It hits off the player's hand and falls right to Christian Pulisic with all sorts of space and wide right. Okay, fine. It falls right to the U.S. Exactly, Christian. I'd be pissed too.
Over on FS2, the other game, Bolivia and Panama, things not going the Americans' way. The Canal Men getting this cracker from Jose Fajardo, his 13th international goal. Right now, it's Panama moving on to the quarterfinals with Uruguay.
My goodness.
Live Group C standings, as we mentioned, Uruguay and Panama 1 and 2. The U.S. sitting in third with work to do. Let's go back to that U.S.-Uruguay game. The official, Peruvian Kevin Ortega, 32 years old, a FIFA ref since 2019. Some might say you wouldn't know it.
I mean, well, let's use his full name. It's Kevin Paulo Ortega Pimentel. All right? You know when your parents get angry, they use your full name?
They go the full name on you.
Because this guy is completely out of his depth in this game and what he is doing. Now, this is not a reason for the U.S. not being up. This is not a reason for the U.S. Not doing whatever it is. But this is a bad performance from the referee that is going to be part of the narrative. The other good side is the U.S. played a really, really good half.
Yeah, and I think, the referee is bad. They've determined that, but I think the biggest thing that they need to do coming out in the second half is not let it affect them. We saw that in the last game against Panama. It cost them, so they've got to just keep doing what they were doing in the first half because it was terrific.
Yeah, I think the U.S. team has lost a little bit of momentum. They need to get that back. I mean, when Balogun went out, we miss having him up there. The team needs to get refocused, come back out, and start being threatening again.
Yeah, maybe they were thrown off by that camera angle from Starlink. maybe that's the problem there.
Never watched a game from that.
Wow, how's everybody's vertigo?
We fixed it, though. I made some calls and we fixed it.
You made the calls,
yep.
Did you? Yeah. I know some people were making some calls, trust me. U.S. and Uruguay scoreless.
The top soccer nations from North and South America are battling it out in Copa America, and every match is on Sirius XM.
Tagged in by Vinicius Junior.
Group play wraps up with a star-studded clash between Brazil and Colombia.
Unbelievable from Luis Diaz.
Coverage begins Tuesday night at 9 Eastern on Fox Sports Channel 83, and you can keep up with all the latest action from Copa America on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Get a fast start to your day with the Morning Drive on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Veteran race announcer Mike Bagley and race insider Pete Pistone deliver expert analysis and insight covering every angle of NASCAR, giving fans an in-depth look into the sport from the garage and around the track. It's the Morning Drive, weekdays only on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. Brought to you by Boot Barn. Boot Barn celebrates the values of honesty, hard work, ingenuity, and perseverance, striving to offer a piece of the American spirit. Boot Barn, proud supporters of the West.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
SiriusXM has your sports with live play-by-play coverage and talk about your favorite teams in the NFL, NHL, fantasy and college sports, NASCAR, the PGA Tour, and more. Plus, exclusive sports talk on Mad Dog Radio with Christopher Mad Dog Russo. SiriusXM Sports.
The biggest sporting events happen on SiriusXM Sports. Find out what channel your team is playing on by going to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Spend 4th of July in the Hamptons with the superstars of electronic dance music. Vibe to sets from Swedish House Mafia, Sophie Tucker, Kygo, and many more. Captured live at Palm Tree Festival 2024, all throughout Independence Day, starting Thursday, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. Let's go. On BKM, Channel 52, and the SiriusXM app.
The U.S. and Uruguay scoreless after a feisty first 45 in Kansas City. 14 fouls, 3 yellow cards handed out so far, 2 of those yellows to the U.S. So tonight it is the conclusion of Group C here at Copa America. On your right, it's Bolivia, Panama on FS2. Panama up 1-0 at the break. On your left, United States and Uruguay live on FS1. As things stand, Christian Pulisic and the U.S. not moving on, Lex, to the quarterfinals. What has to change in the final 45?
I mean, keep getting it to Christian Pulisic. So feed the bear, if you will, and let him take players on because he's going to get fouled, or the good things are going to happen out there. So keep doing that. I think in general, the possession that they had, the opportunities they had, the one-touch passing that they had to create those opportunities in the final third, that's good. Just got to be smart. You got to be smart because this team will pounce on any type of mistake.
Yeah, how is Pepe a different striker than Flo Balogun?
I just think Flo can create chances for himself and also cannot get on the end of things like what you see Pepe, his ability to be able to do that. I think the team did get a little unorganized towards the end of that second half. Uruguay had more chances and more of the ball. So in the second half, we need to regroup, get back to getting on the ball, playing forward, and creating chances.
And the biggest thing is they got to just stay focused. Can't let this ref get in your head.
And they are going to be focused as well on what's happening in Orlando. Currently over on FS2, Panama with a 1-0 lead, putting the Canal Men through to the quarterfinals for now. The U.S. can change that, though, here in the second 45. For the call, once again, we take you out to Kansas City. John Strong and Stu Holden.
And, Rob, what do you notice there? The U.S. were taking their time coming out of the locker room, as has become in vogue a little bit. It's led to 4 coach suspensions. But the U.S. doing what they can. They've got to get refocused. They've got to get back to work. They've got to get a goal as it stands. Now, they're more than 6 minutes ahead of us in Orlando. That game kicked off a lot sooner in the second half because of all the stoppage time that we had. Matias Vigna early forward for Uruguay trying to get a cross in. And that ends up in the outside of the net. So, more than likely, that game will finish before this game does. What are you looking for early from the U.S.?
More of the same. Now, the big challenge is going to be what the challenge was at the beginning of the first half, same in the second. You've had a good 45 minutes. That's in the bag. It's a different game in the second half now. Don't make mistakes in the back. Try to get back to what made you good, which was the intensity, winning second balls, winning first balls. Great start from Reyna again. He had a fantastic first half.
Just looked like he stumbled there. Oh, good work by Pepe to come in from behind. Can the U.S. hunt this ball out? Reyna getting in there. Anthony Robinson getting in there. Adams coming in. Bodies crashing all over. And is that ball out of play? It is after a little bit of hesitation. It is a U.S. throw in front of the Uruguay bench.
And the last word for me is control. It's making sure you find control of the game in moments. Use the ball well. Control it with the intensity in middle of the field.
Weston McKennie, can he control? Got his pocket pick, second chance, and he was off balance, and he puts it in the stands.
I just think that what a great ball across here that finds McKennie. I think he had a chance on the volley. Is this ball out? Yep, absolutely was. U.S. played a quick throw. Ball into McKennie's chest. He takes it off, tries to strike it at goal, and then the second one when he turns back, he's leaning back, he's off balance. But a good early start to the half.
Jenny Taft, what's the word from U.S. coach Greg Berhalter?
Well, Greg Berhalter, John, did not want to talk to me about the referee. I understand that. But what he did say, transition moments will be critical on both sides of the ball. This game will come down to individual duels. And I can confirm for Joe Scally, obviously he's giving it a go. He was kicked in a weird spot on his leg. And for Ballo, it was a hip pointer injury, guys.
And Scally back out there to begin. We saw Mark McKenzie up and getting loose, along with Brendan Aronson, all during halftime. Again, Pablo Quiroga, who's the assistant coach for Uruguay, Marcelo Bielsa, legend in his own right, the godfather of how soccer is played and thought of in the modern era. He is suspended up in a suite somewhere. Long switch for Pulisic, couldn't keep it in play.
Those are good moments and important moments for Ricardo Pepi, holding the ball there, back to goal, laying it off, and then joining into the play, because that allows the U.S. to get past that initial press that Uruguay bring with 5 or 6 players. It's Ream who's bringing the ball up predominantly. His passing breaks that midfield line, U.S. turn, and then get to Uruguay's half. So his hold-up play is going to be as important as anything, and then you still have to make the box as a striker if the U.S. create a chance in those wide areas.
Back to Matt Turner, still playing through that left leg contusion that had him a question mark after he was forced to come off at the half Thursday in the loss to Panama. Tim Ream brings it down off the chest. Can he find the pass now? Nunez on a yellow card, got him to him late. McKennie, bouncing ball, U.S. throw. Anthony Robinson told us the team hotel yesterday he's got that sort of caster wrapping on his right wrist. Makes throwing the ball in a little bit tough, but he's taken a few throw-ins tonight. He resettles it for Pepi. Can Pepi find a pass? Been for Pulisic, and Pepi was just moved off it there. Araujo just using his body well to prevent Pepi from getting on the end of the pass. And now here come Uruguay the other way. Right, he goes for Christian Oliveira of LAFC, a first-half substitution due to an injury. Vigna's going to get there. Adams got the block. Uruguay corner.
That's the transition that Greg Berhalter talked to Jenny about there. That when the ball turns over, deep in Uruguay's box, by the way, that's what we've seen. Them already score goals like this against Bolivia, where they quickly break the other way. They get 1v1. Weston McKennie actually falls asleep for a half second. He made a good track back run of about 40, 50 yards, but then fell asleep in the box. But a good recovery and recognition by Tyler Adams to get to that near post and put it behind for a corner.
Because what Greg Berhalter's men cannot do is concede a goal. It comes all the way back. Valverde resets for De La Cruz. He hooks it in. It takes a flick, and it's just wide. Turner was scrambling there.
Yeah, I think Turner had it covered at that near post. It was a tough angle. Uruguay chose to play this one short, seeing all the U.S. bodies in the box. They roll it out. They then recycle those runs at the back post. And we're going to look at just how close this is. Just enough to make him nervous.
Can they get Pulisic more involved, like our studio was talking about? Didn't have a shot against Panama. Had half as many touches of the ball than passes attempted against Panama as he did against Bolivia, when Greg Berhalter said he was in the zone that night with a goal and an assist. Here's Pulisic now. Down in a heat goes the defender. We play on. Pulisic. Might actually work for Yunus Musa, and the U.S. gets what looked to be a throw out of it.
Yeah, Pulisic's got his hands up here as he's coming inside with Vigna defending him, but Vigna's had his hands all over him the entire game, and I think he's just trying to do that swim motion to get his hand off him and ends up catching him in the face a little bit. He's trying to say an elbow. Definitely was not an elbow. There you go, catches a little bit of a wrist to the face. Could have very well been whistled a foul.
How do they get Pulisic looking like he did against Bolivia?
Well, I've been happy with his contributions from a U.S. perspective because he's been an option in transition. Already in this game, he's coming inside really well in the second half and finding nice little spaces where Vigna's having to decide, do I follow him, do I not? And that's going to open up space for other players. So it might not be the game where he's the guy finishing off the play, but it might be the space that he creates by his movement and his touches and just how dangerous he is in the ball. Good press from
Mendes had a chance to get rid of it there with Reyna's pressure. Rochette now weaves his way through, goes long. Richards got to be sure, wins the header. Adams just nods it forward. U.S. though loses it at that point. Vigna, he's got Nunez making the run. Richards got to be careful. Ream comes over to nod it away. Adams was there first. Adams and Richards both playing on a yellow, as is Nunez. Cleared away by Scally. Pulisic didn't seem quite sure that ball was as close to him as he was. And a shot from a long ways out is wide in the end. Valverde tagged it.
Well, the thing you like to see for the U.S. are the partnerships across the field working the way that they should. In that moment, Richards was 1v1 with Nunez. Ball bounces up. Tim Ream covers. You always want your center backs communicating, working in tandem, covering each other, finding space. Nice hold-up play again from Pepe.
And now Reyna trying to go backdoor. Anthony Robinson's going to get there early. Cross is blocked on the outside by Pelistri, who covered well. Robinson wins the ball back. He's getting his shirts pulled out. He's able to keep it anyway. Reyna's in the area. What's the decision coming here? It's a U.S. throw taken quick. Pepe the flick into the middle of the field. Who's there? McKennie pops it in the air. Gets sandwiched off it. Rochette is going to come to collect there as Vigna won the key header. Round of 16 of the Euros concludes tomorrow. Romania against the Netherlands on FS1. Austria against Turkey on Fox. Coverage beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. Fifth shot of the game there. Oh, in a dangerous area. Turner was alert. Nunez had a step on Richards. One of the things the U.S. did very well, we talked about how intense Uruguay are in the first 20 minutes. They were in the lead after the first 20 minutes, each of their first two. They didn't get a shot the first 20 minutes tonight. U.S. had the lone shot. Uruguay had the next 4 shots at goal. So the U.S. couldn't go from there to build into the game just yet.
But one of the things I am curious is ball switches play there. That's how they can hurt that midfield, the way they're pressing as a diamond. There's space on the wings.
Here's Vigna, back into the middle. Ugarte, De La Cruz. Pelistri wants a long switch. He's trying to peel off on the outside on Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, we'll get back to this part of the conversation a little bit later in the half, but Uruguay don't need to win this game. They just need to tie and they top the group. Job done. So I'm interested to see how they handle this second half.
Montes, good area, just beyond the run there of Oliveira.
Scally's gone down. I think he was lunging for that ball and hits the deck. So let's see what happens here. This ball comes in. Watch Scally. That would have been offside, so he would have been fine even if Oliveira had gotten in at that back post. And then just watch Scally at the end of the play. Just cut off too soon to see, but he's still down. He's getting treatment. He's actually not getting treatment from the training staff, but from Matt Turner and Tim Ream.
Only now it is Kevin Ortega. Gesture for the athletic training staff to take the field.
And this is a U.S. back line. You talked about the reason that Scally is starting. Serginho Dest, ACL tear, down. They've started the back line, the same back line, 5 straight games. They started to get into a rhythm and consistency. Scally has stepped up and defended really well. Let's see, and I'm sure they hope he can continue.
Scally, 21-year-old from Long Island. Had a great chat with him the other week. He's actually known Gio Reyna since they were kids, coming up together in the New York City Academy. They're nearby each other in Germany. He said they see each other every weekend, and it will be Shaq Moore who is the choice. Now, Moore was a late add to this roster. And he was a guy that it's an opportunity for him to redeem himself a little bit. Struggled some at the World Cup. He's had a good couple of seasons with Nashville. He said he loves the idea of thinking of himself sort of like a shutdown corner. Those are his words. We're not just overusing the football metaphors because we're in the Chiefs Stadium. But as we said with Ricardo Pepi, it's a chance for him to write a different narrative about his time in the United States team. That's the opportunity potentially coming for Shaq Moore if Joe Scally indeed cannot continue.
I don't know. Let's see. The way he's motioning to the training staff,
it's sort
looks
of
like he wants to keep going.
But like Matt Turner, what's the difference between fighting through pain and having an injury that limits you, that hurts the team?
Well, that's where you have an honest conversation with your coach and the training staff. That's absolutely the question. Can you give us 100%? And even if you're not 100%, is it close enough that you're not going to be hurting your teammates out there? And it does indeed, as we're seeing here, look like he's trying to come back on the field.
He's playing with 10 for the moment. He knocks it down. De La Cruz there first. Scally is back on the field. It's terrific work there by Ugarte with 4 white shirts around him. Well, Araujo goes long. Anthony Robinson tracking it. Pelistri nods it down. Reyna beaten to it by Nandez. Recontrols Pelistri. Good little mover on Anthony Robinson. Pelistri to the byline. Robinson got to be careful. Does just enough there with a little hip check right at the end to get it out for a goal kick.
That's poor from Pelistri, the man who was on loan in La Liga last season from Manchester United. Still a young player, but Robinson gets beat initially. It takes a bit of a bounce, and then just look at the strength there. The problem with Pelistri in that moment, he's anticipating the challenge coming from Robinson as opposed to being worried about, I've got the advantage here. Can I just square this one across goal and cause problems for the U.S. back line? Here come the crowd again.
Still the Jose Fajardo goal. He had the winning goal against the U.S. Thursday night that has Panama leading against Bolivia. And they're a good 6 minutes ahead of us in Orlando. That's how it looks as it stands. A U.S. goal puts them up into the top 2 of the group, sends them to the quarterfinal round. On Saturday night, McKennie couldn't reset for Anthony Robinson. De La Cruz, Pepe, good pressure. Richards there first, couldn't connect a pass. De La Cruz battling with Weston McKennie, who fouls him. Incidentally, a Bolivia goal would change it as well. If Bolivia were to score, that would flip the U.S. and Panama on the standings. So the goal in either stadium right now could change things. It could also make things worse. Reyna, good job to get to that loose ball. What can he do with it? Couldn't quite reaching for it. Connect the pass, but it's going to be out for a U.S. throw. Greg Berhalter was part of a U.S. team in '95 in the Copa America. Got a 3-0 win against Argentina that they needed on the final day. We've seen U.S. teams leave it late. Landed none of it in the dying seconds against Algeria. The goal they needed at the 2010 World Cup. We've seen him sneak through the back door, including in 2002. That team that was celebrated got to the quarterfinal, actually lost their group stage finale. They got the result they needed in the other game. Same thing happened in 2014. There's different ways to get this done, and Greg Berhalter's talked about that throughout the tournament. There are different paths that lead us to the same outcome that we're hoping for. McKennie, long throw. Pulisic gets back to it in the box. Nowhere to go. It's popped out. Great skill, though. Musa picks it back up. Anthony Robinson. Weston McKennie, too tall for Musa.
It's lost its rhythm a bit, hasn't it? This not just the U.S., but the game. And that's by design from Uruguay. They've really made a point of slowing things down. We're not seeing the high press from them and trying to really put the U.S. under a lot of pressure at the back. They seem to have downshifted a little bit. And look, they're even taking time off the clock here for a throw-in. Hernandez is... So a point is fine for them. And the challenge is going to be for the U.S., and I think at a point you're going to have to start thinking about some subs here soon to keep the energy levels high, to keep them pushing, and when you have the ball, to try to make the most of it, because Uruguay right now, if everything is going how they want it to.
Viña for Christian Oliveira. Scally defending him, fighting through pain. Oliveira cuts it in, forced back out. That's Viña. Valverde comes to get it. Oliveira once again running at Weston McKennie this time. Scally comes to help, crossing to the back post, and Anthony Robinson a touch to take it away from Pellistri. Hernandez picks it back up. Ream rising up to head it away. Ugarte forced to recycle. Final half an hour at Arrowhead Stadium. And the U.S. find a way to keep their Copa America alive. Wide it goes, going to come back in for Oliveira. Adams on the scene. Terrific defending. Goal kick.
Tyler Adams saw that pass about 2 days before he played it. He's been everywhere tonight. This is the Tyler Adams we all remembered at the World Cup in 22, and he's just had a torrid time with injuries. Basically missed a year and a half of soccer. Had been on a limitation the last 2 games. I have a hard time seeing if Greg Berhalter is going to take him out tonight.
Because that was the question. Does he have about 75 or 80 minutes? Can he go longer? He's played a 90-minute game once in the last year and a half with those injuries. Richards goes down. Richards is in pain behind the play. Richards is still down as Musa carries on. Anthony Robinson was making a deep run. Musa played it to his feet. Chris Richards is limping behind the play.
Yeah, I think that's about every U.S. fan watching this at home right now.
So we're keeping an eye on Richards. We're keeping an eye on Scally. We're keeping an eye on Orlando, hoping for good news from there. Musa right there. Adams coming to help. That's whistled for a foul.
But it's what separates good from great is a team that can find ways to win games like this. And when you've had the possession, you've had the domination, that extra bit of quality that you need. And that's where you got to dig deep. That's where you need your stars. That's where you need Pulisic. And it looks like Bolivia have scored. Bolivia have scored. U.S. is going on as it stands. Still, again,
We got a long night ahead of us, but that's the news the U.S. needed from there. Can they give themselves good news here as it's out for a Uruguay corner, their third of the game? First goal of the tournament for Bolivia in the 69th minute in Orlando. Strap in, folks. It's going to get crazy from here.
Some celebrations below me from fans that are just finding that out as well.
Nicolas de la Cruz to take the corner. Again, Uruguay been very good from set pieces at this tournament. Richard's the only man there. And the news will filter its way around Arrowhead Stadium as that was miscontrolled out for a U.S. throw. Can they go quick? Pepe's got a step. Pulisic couldn't get clean contact on the ball, and Pulisic got his pocket picked. And we're seeing more people around us in the stands, looking at their phones, hearing from their neighbors.
Oh, man. I got goosebumps.
That's how it stands. And they are in a VAR check in Orlando. Who's touched there? Pepe almost got to it. Matias Oliveira recovered. A check with Pepe for company goes long. Richards got his body to it at least. Vigna hooks it long. Turner deciding whether to stay at home or come forward. Ream does just enough. Scally under pressure. Turner hits the eject button. Ante Robinson miscontrolled that. Ream back to get it. Adams pressure. Anthony Robinson to the middle of the field. Pepe doesn't get there. Reyna commits the foul.
Goal is good. Goal is good for Bolivia. That game is 1-1.
Bruno Miranda, formerly of DC United. Your thank you card is in the mail.
For now. There you go. He's got it.
But this is where, again, the U.S. has to also get their job done here as well. Match or better, whatever Panama's result is going to be.
Yeah, but here you go. U.S., put it in your own hands now. Go and win the game.
You see Berhalter this there, just about 1-1. Free kick for Uruguay after the Reyna foul. De La Cruz sends it in. Turner the save. The rebound's a goal. U.S. looking at the side, hoping to see a flag come up. It's not going to come up. It's Matias Oliveira leading the celebrations.
Well, here we go. Let's get a look at who makes the contact on this header. There's one man definitely offside at the top of the screen, but he's not the one who hits it. And I think that goal is going to stand as that save is made there from Matt Turner down to his right. Can't palm it out of the reach there, and the ball just ends up in the back of the net.
Question will be, was Oliveira onside when Araujo
when he heads it? Yeah, but I think he was. I think.
So an unfortunate few minutes apart. Good news from Orlando. Bad news in Kansas City.
Let's see again. Oh, yeah, you're right. When this header comes off, I think Oliveira is offside. That's the first freeze we've got on that angle. So this is being checked. Because it wasn't him initially on the first header. When the first ball came in, he was onside. But on the header from
Dr. Joe Mactic, you've had a look at it as well. Over to you.
If the player who is in an offside position gains an advantage after the ball has been saved by a defender, obviously the goalkeeper in this instance, then that the player is ruled offside if he was in an offside position the moment the ball was headed, as you pointed out. So I think this will be called back.
Yeah, we're getting it here, Dr. Joe. There's the first header from Araujo, and you can see Oliveira is offside. There's two offside, in fact, and it goes to him. So my feeling is that this is going to be offside, and the U.S. get away with one off crazy sequence there. Goal goes in for Bolivia, they're through. Goal goes in for Uruguay, they're out. But lifeline potentially still being checked.
Carlos Orbe of Ecuador, the video assistant referee. And Kevin Ortega, the referee, listening on the headset. The fate of two nations here at stake on this decision with still 20
it's
plus
kind of
minutes to
bizarre
go.
that it's taking this long. Unless, again, there's something that we're missing.
But this is what they want to be 100% sure, as much as they can possibly be sure, given the stakes of this goal, given the stakes of this game.
Yeah.
You don't want to be an issue of, oh, there was someone else who wasn't in the frame of the camera. Double checking. Did Ream, in fact, play the ball? Just going through the whole checklist.
Wow. Well, I need to see another replay because I'm not sure it was determined there whether, as you said, maybe it didn't come off of a U.S. player.
The goal has been given.
Player. Oh, my goodness.
Well, we don't get an announcement of the decision since the decision was upheld, but the evidence of what we saw suggests that that is the incorrect. And listen, there have been, and CONMEBOL have come out and said Moise Bombito should have been sent off for Canada the other night. They have publicly come out the night after games and said that was the wrong outcome from a VAR review. Pepe's pressure gives the U.S. a throw.
Well, I'm sure they're drawing some lines up right now, and they'll go back and show a replay of exactly how they got to that decision. But
well, what did we say earlier? The U.S. has got to find a way, whatever the refs are or are not going to do. A U.S. goal would put them back in. Josh Sargent comes back over to the bench area. Matt Turner again under pressure, certainly that time. Matias Oliveira's second career goal in 21 games played for his country. Panama celebrating that news. They are back in. The U.S. are back out. 20 minutes plus change to go.
And you know, another interesting part of that review was that Greg Berhalter and his staff have seen a replay as well, and they communicated to their players. Everybody was back and was waiting for that to come back for offside. Oh my goodness, this is getting out of control here.
20 minutes to go.
You got to dig deep. You got to dig deep now for the U.S.
They got to find a way. Josh Sargent preparing to come on. Just a handful of minutes off the bench in his first appearance for the U.S. since the World Cup the other night. Ream heads that one away to the Cruz. Looked like he might have been undercut there by Musa, but there's no foul. Pepe couldn't get that to Pulisic. Clip long. Scally in chase. Tails it out. Uruguay will make a sub as well. Jose Jimenez, 85 appearances, hugely experienced player. Getting set to come on. It will be Matias Viña who comes off for Uruguay. Yunus Musa will come off for Josh Sargent. And I guess the problem is who do you take off to get an extra attacker on the field? But your thoughts on Musa tonight?
I thought Musa was solid. Yeah, you didn't see him on some of his trademark long runs, dribbling out of pressure, but just very connected in the way in which he pressed, connected in the midfield three. But I think when you're thinking about guys that can give you a goal, Weston McKennie's going to stay out there a little bit longer. Gio Reyna's been so good on this left-hand side. Pulisic. So, as you said, he's trying to shoot that.
Because the reality, like, we're clearly stunned, and I can only imagine people watching at home right now, unless there's a piece of video evidence, and Panama have now scored in Orlando. Unless there's a piece of video evidence that shows us that we were wrong to think it was offside. But the U.S. players, they got to find a way, one way or the other.
Well, they need 2 goals now with that Panama goal going in. They have to win the game.
U.S. has to now come from behind to win this game, with Panama retaking the lead in the 79th minute. Again, they're about 6 minutes ahead of us in Orlando. And the U.S. has managed just 2 shots tonight. Only one of them is forced to save. Off the throw, Anthony Robinson able to bounce it off of Darwin Nunez, and out for a goal kick.
Here we go. So here's... Oh, is it Richards' left foot? Oh, come on.
Again,
the other thing is, look, these cameras are not directly down the line, so they're guessing.
It's
they're
not
guessing when they're drawing the
offside,
lines.
like at the Euros, where you have cameras all the way around the stadium tracking body parts. It's lines being drawn on the screen.
That is insane. Insane. And that's what I'm saying. There's so many factors that go into that where...
And that's not going to be a yellow card, by the way, as Pulisic gets cleaned out at the end. U.S. players are furious.
Yeah.
But they got to find a way to refocus. They got to find a way to execute. 17 minutes plus stoppage time. Reyna has it blocked.
And look, I think we need to hammer this home because it's a big talking point in the game, that goal. We saw a very close decision with Germany and Denmark in the Euro, and everybody was saying, look, he's offside by a toe. The difference being it's different technology. They have technology in the ball as far as a chip and a sensor to know when the ball is kicked, and also semi-automated offside, and the camera's helping. That camera is not on the right down the line on the 18. You can't definitively say it's at that point, and so it's somebody in the VAR.
Oh, it's spilled by Rochette. McKennie into the middle. Pepe out for Pulisic, and it's blocked, and it's cleared off the line. Ugarte was there to head it away. And now Uruguay the other way. Tyler Adams is there, clips it forward. Pulisic couldn't track over the shoulder, battling with Ugarte, who denied the U.S. a goal there. Adams coming to help defensively. He and Pulisic are in there. Pulisic goes to ground. It's a free kick for Uruguay. And Pulisic's down, and Rochette is down.
This is going to get out of control. The end of the game here.
Going to?
Yeah, fair. Well, this was the goal-scoring opportunity. Great work from Anthony Robinson. Forces them in that indecision there. Rochette says, I'm coming. Araujo loses it. Comes out to Pulisic, and it takes that deflection that spins it up, but it takes all the power out of the strike. What part of the body did that hit from Oliveira, who just went down the ground? He had his hands behind his back. And then Ugarte, who filled in from that defensive midfield position to get on the line and head that one away. And then I thought the foul was the other way on Pulisic down there in the corner. Now Rochette is down.
Well, attendance announced is 55,460. A tremendous pro-U.S. crowd for all 3 group stage games. A wonderful preview. And they'll be at an even bigger scale, you can be sure, 2 years from now, the 2026 World Cup. Of the support the U.S. can receive. Quarter hour to go. Now, this is where Uruguay have been able to pull away from teams. They've scored 5 of their 8, now 9 goals at this tournament in the final 15 minutes of games.
Well,
only goal they allowed was Panama with the last kick.
There's chances to be had for them here towards the end of the game, because the reality is the U.S. have to win the game. So they're going to have to sell out. They're going more attacking. You got 2 strikers on the field. You're going to see Robinson release. So there will be chances, and it's whether the U.S. can find one to at least level it before they find the second.
Robinson miscontrols. De La Cruz looking for Nunez. He's take it himself, and Turner, good, sure hands, making his second save of the game. He's going to throw it out quick. McKennie doesn't have the legs to catch up to it. It's out off him for a Uruguay throw. Would hold quite a bit of stoppage time as well. It was, we saw in the first half, there was not nearly enough added. Sargent and Chase. And a delay in the other game in Orlando because of an injury right now. Still Panama leading 2-1. Still the U.S. going out as it stands. Miscontrolled pass. McKennie. Pulisic on the turn. Pulisic comes inside. Can't find Pepe with that one. He's going to chase. And Rochette is able to clear. Ream won the header. It came off De La Cruz. It just popped forward. And that'll be out for a U.S. throw. Another sub coming for the United States. Haji Wright, who's not seen a minute at this tournament. He was the hero in March. 2 goals in extra time in the Nations League semifinal.
Well, the U.S. emptying the bench with attackers, and Uruguay emptying the bench with defenders and defensive midfielders.
That showed heroics as well for Coventry City, his club team, with some late goals in their storybook run to an FA Cup semi-final this spring. Reina wasn't quite sure that ball was coming for, and Adams rises up. Sargent gets in there, and he's fouled. Free kick U.S. Let's see who's going to come off. It'll be a sub first for Uruguay. Rodrigo Betancourt will come on. Nicolas De La Cruz will come off. And Joe Scally fought through pain all through this second half. Haji Wright to replace him.
He adds a different dynamic off a set piece as well with his height and heading ability. Straight in the mix.
Pulisic hooks that free kick in. Rochette, comfortable catch, no one there. And you saw there Matt Turner coming over to the side just to get looked at, and he scrambles back out to the middle. 5 minutes plus stoppage time to go in Orlando. 11 minutes plus stoppage time to go here. And once again, the U.S. is saying you could have just played advantage there. Adams was running into space. Kevin Ortega saying, nope, I'm going to whistle it dead for the handball. But take my time to actually sell that point. Berhalter talked to us last night about all the things you can't control as a coach. Trying to control what he can with these substitutions. Trying to will his team from the bench to 2 goals that they would need, a win that they would need as it stands. Adams fouled. Haji Wright and Nandez a little bit of a coming together off the ball. Matt Turner once again is coming over to the side to get something retaped or restrapped. It's got to be quick though, because then he's got to get back out on his goal and not leave it empty.
They might play this one short here. Well, Uruguay brought out 2 men now. Pulisic was pretty frustrated. It was a good ball in the last time. He looked straight back to the bench just to say, come on, that ball bounced on the penalty spot and went right into Rochette's hands.
Pulisic just trying to clip that one up in there. Headed wide by Araujo. McKennie, can he get a cross in? Running out of space. Tackled away. U.S. throw.
And they're just going to hold this, I think. There was a potential push in the back of Tim Ream. And I'm just wondering if he's just going to hold it and make sure and have a look here. Looks like play on. So, yeah, watch Tim Ream. He's kind of wrapped up, but not enough. He's actually trying to draw a little bit more contact by going into the defender.
Weston McKennie, long throw in. Sargent was up for it. It's cleared away by Ugarte. Ream last man back, nods it wide. McKennie brings it down. McKennie bumped off it. U.S. throw again. We'll do it over. 9 minutes plus stoppage time. McKennie wants a dry ball.
They're trying to, Uruguay's bench right now, talking about McKennie's style with the side-winding throw.
It's in the gray area of the rules, to be sure. It gets it not far enough in. Last man back once again is Tim Ream. Trying to stab it for McKennie. Oh, he got there. McKennie working on Oliveira. Needs some help. Just beyond Reina. Well, the U.S. got to be careful. How about Pulisic with the run back to win it? Anthony Robinson. That'll work for Tyler Adams. Reina. Missed a lot of sorts. Oh, Sargent's going to get there. Sargent cuts it back. Sargent clips it up, and it took a block. It's a U.S. corner.
Good job playing out of pressure there. Uruguay tried to really aggressively win that ball back. Pulisic's trying to get the crowd on their feet. Just about everybody up. Only Anthony Robinson back for the U.S. now.
55,000 fans at Arrowhead. Outswinger Pulisic. McKennie was in the area. Reyna lobs it back forward. Scramble of bodies. Headed to the top of the box. Adams trying to reset. Pepe throws his body in there. Darwin Nunez controls. U.S. got to be careful the other way. They cannot afford to concede another. They've already got to score 2 unanswered as it stands. Nunez, lovely skill. Robinson knocks it away. Big tackle.
Numbers. They got a chance here.
Reyna the other way. Robinson flying forward. Going to play for him. Anthony Robinson now. Into the middle for Haji Wright. Not going to catch back up to that. Ugarte. Good work positionally.
Oh, what a break. Anthony Robinson, 50-yard sprint back, 50-yard sprint up. It's the right idea from Wright, just a heavy touch. He's anticipated. They're getting another look, so maybe they've drawn a new line for us. It's so subjective because that's not a straight line. You know, did they throw the old one out there before? By the way, that one didn't have the little red knee from Oliveira.
U.S. has 3 shots in 83 minutes.
Yeah. No, I was actually going to get to that a minute or two ago when you brought up the referee and all the circumstances around this game. The reality is U.S. haven't scored a goal. So it's been there for them. And now they got to make it happen. Instead of relying on Bolivia to try to tie Panama, win the game. And the reality is they're behind. They haven't scored a goal through 84 minutes. They've had chances. They've had good stretches of play, but that's not enough.
Sargent is able to stab that back to recycle it for Reyna. Reyna sending it up. And no one in chase. It comes all the way through. Panama have scored a third 20 seconds into stoppage time. Does not change the fact the U.S. needs to win. They would still have the goal differential edge. But it does mean that they're not going to, barring something really crazy, get a Bolivia draw, which helps them sneak in the back door. So the U.S. has to find 2 goals in the next 5 minutes plus stoppage time here in Kansas City. Can they work a miracle? The building, it's seen plenty of them over the years. Richards forward. Reyna, or Pepe, in fact it was, let it go for no one. Thought he had an option behind him. Long the other way, tired legs out there. Tim Ream over to get it in front of Pelistri, and shepherds it out for a goal kick.
Here comes Luis Suarez. You can hear the crowd responding to that. Uruguayan legend, Barcelona legend, playing for Inter Miami.
Sebastian Cáceres will join him as well of Club America. Ream lifts it long. Anthony Robinson trying to sneak in. Araujo slid across.
So many attacking players on the field now, so many forwards that you've just completely lost the midfield.
And it comes down off the chest. Richards going to control. Adams can turn. Gets it away. Pulisic now trying to charge forward. Sargent to the outside. Comes back inside. Poked away. Adams to the loose ball. Back for Pulisic. Couple different options. Poked away by Ugarte before he could play a pass. Ugarte's down. Referee doesn't have to stop it. Reyna. Pulisic. Reyna. Haji Wright. And that took a block. And Rochette is able to recover and make the stop.
Oh, what a move. Just some of the best stuff we've seen. The one-touch passing, the incisive runs into the box, the combinations, and then ultimately ends up at Haji Wright's feet. It's so hard because you're a striker, you're in there, you want to score the goals. But both defenders crash on him there in the box, and he had a wide-open Ricardo Pepi to his right. And that first touch just got caught underneath his feet, so it meant he had to take an extra beat to try to get the right strike. And that's where your decision-making, it's so easy to say from up here. That process and that decision is just a millimeter, just a millisecond that he has to make in his head. But if he just picked his head up, he had Ricardo Pepi wide open with a better option. And it's kind of been the story of the night, hasn't it, for the U.S.? Look at this. Watch both defenders, center backs crashing, and then look at Pepi. Wide open, and he's calling for it. And even then, it takes a deflection, goes underneath. 2 bodies, Rochette already committed to his left. He's trying to get back up now. And it ends up being a pretty comfortable save for him. But it's just been a case of nearly. It's been everything but the finish. It's been But that's the Copa America. The goal is to advance out of the group. It doesn't matter how. You could beat Canada and score 1 goal through 3 games, but you're in the knockout stages. And that was the goal coming into this. And look, the reality is we'll have to start pushing this one forward now. It's desperation time. 2 minutes left. Should get a big number in stoppage. But this is going to end up becoming a referendum on Greg Berhalter, on this team. And as it stands, an inability to get out of a group with Panama and Bolivia, 2 teams that the U.S. are superior than.
Well, Darwin Nunez's record-tying 7 straight games with a goal ends here tonight. He'll be replaced by Luis Suarez. And Manuel Ugarte, whether that was going to be the sub or not, he comes off after that knock that he took, and Sebastian Cáceres is on. Will be a Copa America debut for Malik Tillman, who's coming off a terrific season at PSV Eindhoven. Caught a winner with Pepe and Serginho Dest, replaces Tim Ream. You saw Luis Suarez's family. Uruguayan legend, MLS All-Star. He's on here, and so we restart. And we'll see what this number is going to end up being. U.S. has to score 2 goals. It has gone final in Orlando. Panama gets their job done. 3-1 is the final. A 2-1 win for the U.S. would still put them in. They got to score twice, though, in the next 60 seconds plus stoppage time. McKennie, can he control? Luis Suarez blocked. We welcome those of you joining us from watching the Panama win over Bolivia. The U.S. need to score twice without reply. They need to win this game to advance to the next round in the Copa America. As it comes into the middle, they're trying to feed it in, and Matt Turner down to make his 3rd save of the game. And we'll see how much stoppage time is coming. U.S. has to score twice. Robinson lost his footing as he released it long. Pulisic can't catch up to the loose touch. U.S. are just hunting with tired legs and tired minds trying to get this ball, and Malik Tillman's first touch is a foul. And more time that Uruguay can take off the clock.
You can feel and see the frustration. Let's see what this number is. It's a huge ask to now expect that they haven't scored through 90, that they're going to score 2 goals, but it's truly desperation in the way in which there's about 7 attacking players on for the U.S. It's going to be long direct balls, 6 minutes. 6 minutes to do it. But what you're trying to do now is launch long direct balls, challenge for the first one, win the second ball, create chaos, create havoc. Maybe you find one and then somehow find a miracle.
Well, Araujo, and we'll come all the way through to Turner. Turner hoofs it long. Pepe and Sargent in the area. Sargent trying to throw his body in. Weston McKennie will chase it down and lost his balance, but it's knocked out. It's a U.S. throw. 6 minutes of added time, of which we've exhausted almost the first. Sargent tried to turn and lob it in the middle. It was blocked. Pulisic waiting for it. Has it. Poked away. McKennie for Gio Reyna. Turns it inside. Reyna clips it up right in the area. Knocks it down. No one there in a white shirt. Hernandez trying to get rid of it. Plays it off Anthony Robinson, out for a Uruguay throw. And now Ronald Araujo is down, holding his head. And again, the referees either not aware or is not interested in it. Suarez into the middle of the field. Only Tyler Adams is there. 5 minutes for the U.S. to score 2 goals. Malik Tillman. Hernandez came flying through. It's poked away. Pepe picks it up. Here's Christian Pulisic, caught at the last moment before he was going to shoot. It falls to Sargent. Sargent crossing in. Pulisic got there. Pulisic off balance, and he puts it over. He's arguing that was a foul for a penalty.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was outside of the box or in. He's losing his cool. You can feel the desperation, the frustration. Here he is going to shoot. You know, I actually think that he gets his foot on the ball before Pulisic takes that shot. We're going to hear that man's thoughts, the real man's thoughts. Alexi Lalas in the studio after. Look, a lot to digest. And the knives will be out. The reality is Greg Berhalter, there'll be a huge decision around his job status. This is a failure. You can't sugarcoat it. The U.S. didn't get out of a group that felt like when it was announced it was almost a formality. A bad Bolivian team, a Panamanian team we beat consistently in World Cup qualifying. I know the red card and all that aside, but you didn't get the job done, and you left it all to play here tonight against Uruguay. And sure, I can sit here and talk about all the positives, and wow, we saw some great stuff, and we saw an intensity, but the U.S. is losing this game.
McKennie's throw cleared away. Good clearance in there. And that was what Greg Berhalter, certainly what he signed up for, but also what he said to us last night. We have to take care of our business. We have to win these types of games against these types of opponents. Sargent knocks it down. No one there in a white shirt. Pulisic is there. Can he find a reset? Pulisic just trying to do it himself. Gets by one. Pulisic running forward. Advantage being played. Running out of angles. Couldn't play the pass to Anthony Robinson there as he was knocked off balance. And then he scored 2.5 minutes into that game. What feels like ages ago was really only 8 days ago in Dallas. It felt like everything was really going the USA's way at this Copa America. Dream start against Bolivia, led 2-0 at the half. Couldn't add to it, and even when they scored early, we thought there was an early goal from Weston McKennie Thursday night in Atlanta. It came off after VAR. Then the Tim Weah red. Even the U.S. had a lead for 3.5 minutes after Flo Balogun's goal before losing for just the third time ever to Panama. Knew that they more than likely had to get a win in this game. Richards lifts it long. Sargent out-jumped by Araujo. Malik Tillman trying to settle, just crashing of bodies. Tillman comes out of the with it. Pulisic wants it. Tillman comes to the far side instead. It's Weston McKennie. McKennie battling with Christian Oliveira. Gets a cross in, takes a deflection. Here's Tillman. It's blocked.
What a block.
Nandez is down. Referee will stop play with 90 seconds at a minimum still to go. What do you think's going through his head right now?
Yeah, look, Greg Berhalter against top 15 teams in the world other than Mexico, no wins. 5 draws, and this is about to be a 5th loss. And when he was hired, his mission that he threw up on the board was to change the way American soccer was perceived globally. And the reality is that this team has not gone further than any team has gone in the past. And in fact, many teams have gone further than this team in the Copa America. And I don't want to hear the term golden generation thrown out about this group of players until they actually achieve something. There's a lot of talent out there, but
got a flick right, pops in the air. Anthony Robinson couldn't get there. Luis Suarez miscontrols. Adams lobs it forward. Suarez into the middle. Valverde now. And I guess that's going to be the question. How much of this is on Greg Berhalter? How much of this is on the group of players?
Yeah, the players have to take accountability in this too. And the coach is the first person to bear that responsibility. And this will be on Matt Crocker and U.S. Soccer to decide if they feel that this is the man that they still believe can get the most out of this team. Because you can't change the players. Of course, you can bring a couple of guys in and out. But this is the core. The majority of the players you will see in 26. And there were some signs in 22, and it was a team that was 2 years younger than this. And the idea was that they were going to progress. I haven't seen any progression.
Well, clearly the 90 seconds we lost in stoppage time weren't added. Would it have made a difference? That's it. That's the end. The United States is done at the Copa America. Rob Stone, back to you in Los Angeles as it finishes in Kansas City. Uruguay 1, the United States 0.
John Stu, thank you. Copa America 2024 tonight on Fox is presented by Geico. The sobering reality is the U.S. is out, and out with a whimper. Uruguay with the 1-0 win. They move on to the quarterfinals as your Group C winner. Panama will advance as the runner-up. They took care of Bolivia in Orlando 3-1. So a Stunning combination of results. Chris Richards and the U.S. crash out. Greg Berhalter, so many questions will be asked about him since his return to the U.S. bench. 7 wins, 1 draw, 6 losses in 14 games. Here at the Copa America, Clint, just 3 goals scored, 1 win, and 2 losses. In the pregame, we talked about the U.S. learning from their losses. And the big takeaway was quit losing, we need more wins. But what does the U.S. take away? How does the U.S. react to this loss?
Take away just what it wasn't good enough. I mean, go back to the Panama game. You go a man down, you go a goal up. All you need to do is get a draw from that game. Worst case scenario, you lose it. You come into this game, you need to win. You need to score goals, and you didn't get any goals tonight. Yeah, the ref was terrible. There's no excuse for that. But at the same time, you still didn't score goals that you needed to get the win. So, yeah, I mean, if you're an American fan, this is a sad day.
And, you know, I just look at this loss as, you know, too little, too late. I mean, they came out, they were, you know, a lot of energy, intense. They had some good combination play in the final third, a couple of chances. But it's just been this reoccurring theme that it's just been the same thing over and over again. And they have yet to prove that they can beat some of these best teams on the biggest stage. A lot of question marks, you know, players, Berhalter, but ultimately when you leave fate in the hands of another game and you don't take care of business, you're going home early.
This generation still struggles to take that next step, still struggles to get the results in the biggest games out there, Lex. This was an opportunity tonight for them to prove a lot of doubters wrong.
It was, and yet I feel I've been here before.
Groundhog Day.
You know, this situation where we're looking for moral victories. You know, as I said before, I'm done with moral victories. And I know I get on at times and I scream and yell and stomp my feet and do all the different things. And, you know, there's a form of, like you said, Groundhog Day and apathy that has crept in. You talked about learning from losing, okay? I think what we have learned over these cycles is that this team is not able to do anything better than is done in the past. And that hurts. That hurts to say, because that was not what was promised and not what, for many, we believed was going to happen with this team. Because if this is as good as it gets, it's not good enough. And there's plenty of excuses, but they don't matter. You can talk about opportunities. Well, we got players that are playing all over the world. Talk about playing in Europe. Well, the entire team that you saw out there plays in Europe, so it's not MLS's fault. You can talk about, you know, the pathways and the resources that they have. No generation has been given more, and yet this generation hasn't lived up to that bargain. And when it comes to Greg Berhalter, we heard Stu Holden say it's exactly right. You know, I know there's a sport in firing coaches in all professional sports. And I know the knives are out, and they should be, because this is not good enough from Greg Berhalter. And you have to ask yourself, with 2026 coming barreling down the pike, it's going to come real quick.
Less than 2 years away, Mike.
All right? We can't afford to waste it. We can't afford to be embarrassed. And we can't afford to arrive in the summer of 26 with a team that has not progressed, that has not evolved, and has not improved. And I'm sure if Greg Berhalter was here, he would say, oh, but you don't see what's happening inside. I don't give a crap what is happening inside. I don't care about the dynamic. I don't care how much your players love you. I don't care how kumbaya it is. All I care about is I see a U.S. men's national team that is better than before. And we haven't seen that, and that's a problem going forward.
Is that on the players? Is that on the manager? Is that on the federation? Where are we saying you need to be better?
Well, the players certainly need to be better. You know?
Do you think this generation of players has what it takes? Like, do you think that they have that deep inside of them?
I think there's a couple of them. I think they are better soccer players, but ultimately I don't think that they're better U.S. men's national team players.
You want a bite of that apple?
Man, I mean,
Do we need to hold you back or what?
Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. I mean, it's so frustrating to see. You have a team that you're rooting on and you want to do well, and at the same time, where have we come since 2022? You know, you qualify for the World Cup, you get out of the group, and then where have we progressed? And we haven't, to Lexi's point, and that's the most frustrating part. This is our golden generation. It looks like we're wasting it, and 2026 coming up, you're never going to get this opportunity again. I mean, 94 we had it. We're going to have it here, but then you don't know when that next time's going to come. When are you going to have a better chance to do something special in a World Cup than on home soil?
We didn't have what you're talking about in 94. It's just we were successful. That's all that anybody cares about. And in particular, that's all that America cares about. They don't care how you do it. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be romantic. At this point, when it comes to the United States, what do we want? We want to be the best. And guess what? We expect to be the best. Well, when it comes to soccer, it's one of the few things from the men's side, not the women's side, because they've been carrying us for years, from the men's side that we have not been the best. All right? And so we're trying to get there. And people don't care. People don't care what it looks like on the field. They care about winning. And when all is said and done, what we saw here was another U.S. men's national team losing against a team that a lot of people feel is better than us. And all that matters is that scoreboard. And Greg Berhalter will be the first to tell you that and then talk about all the other things that don't matter.
Here's what we were reduced to. Cheering for Bolivia to beat Panama. I spent more time watching that damn game than the U.S. game because I knew they didn't have it. Please, Bolivia, have it. Help us out. Frustrating. Let's hear from the captain, Christian Pulisic, with Jenny Taft.
Christian, I know how much pride you take in representing the country and the fight tonight from you guys. How would you describe what went down and why you guys fell short?
It's difficult to say right now. Obviously, the emotions are running high. So, I mean, we had a good start and brought a lot of energy, but at the end of the day, just not enough quality. And yeah, I felt like we gave it everything, but just couldn't find the solutions to score.
There was so much physicality tonight. How much frustration is there with the referee?
Yeah, there's a lot. I don't want to talk too much about the ref. It does get frustrating, but yeah, that's what this tournament is about. So we just have to do our best to cope with it.
I know it's short, but where do you guys go from here? What do you want to work on moving forward?
I mean, yeah, now it's just about getting a little bit of rest and regrouping and finding an identity again. And we have some big things ahead, so we can look forward to that.
Thank you.
Summer vacation starts for the U.S. Plenty more on them coming up. Those are the scenes in Orlando. Panama's game against Bolivia ended many minutes prior to the U.S.'s conclusion at Kansas City. They had all gathered in the mid-circle waiting for that final whistle, and they got it. And congratulations to the Canal Men. Now 2 CONCACAF teams off to the quarterfinals, Canada and Panama. Didn't think we'd be saying that about those 2 nations. Clint is shaking his head and laughing right now. Quarterfinal bracket starting to come into a fuller picture. Argentina, Ecuador, Venezuela, Canada there on the left. On the right side, still 2 more gaps. Most likely they will be filled by Brazil and Colombia. Mateus Oliveira, the only goal came in the 66th minute. The save bounced right in his path. It was called a goal. Full reaction, full highlights from KC when we return.
Nobody brings you the excitement of Formula One racing like SiriusXM.
Let's go, come on, yes!
Hear every thrilling lap of a worldwide championship chase.
Verstappen takes the lead of the Grand Prix, and Hamilton couldn't hold him off.
Plus, comprehensive pre- and post-race coverage.
That race, that was the best race I've ever seen.
The 2024 season rolls on Sunday morning at the British Grand Prix. Our live coverage begins at 9 Eastern with Lights Out Racing at 10 Eastern on ESPN Extra, Channel 81, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
If your goals this year include getting healthier, you should start by taking a closer look at your water. You'd be surprised to find out how many impurities are in tap water. Everything from viruses to lead, PFAS, pesticides, and other contaminants. No one wants that. What you do want is healthy drinking water, and it starts with Aquasana. Aquasana water filters remove contaminants and leave you with cleaner, healthier, odor-free, great-tasting water. You'll enjoy an immediate difference with every drop. With everything from whole house systems to under-sink units, Aquasana's high-performance water filtration systems are low-maintenance and eco-friendly. Aquasana has more than 15,000 5-star reviews from customers like you who want to drink with confidence. Visit aquasana.com today and use promo code SXM to get up to 50% off select systems. That's AQUASANA.com. Promo code SXM for up to 50% off. Aquasana, a healthier you starts with healthier water.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Hey, it's Andy Richter, here to tell you about the Andy Richter Call-In Show. Each week, I'll be inviting callers to weigh in on important questions like, have you ever seen a ghost? What's the worst job you've ever had? What's the worst date you've ever been on? Along the way, I'll be joined by my favorite comedians and friends. Check out the Andy Richter Call-In Show. New episodes each Wednesday at 4 p.m. East and West, with replays throughout the week on Conan O'Brien Radio. The show will also be available on demand in the SiriusXM app whenever you want. Just search Andy Richter.
Tomorrow, the conclusion of Group D here at Copa America. Vinny Jr. leads Brazil against Luis Diaz and Colombia on FS1. That is going to be a fantastic matchup. Same time, Costa Rica, Paraguay, that one live on FS2. Tonight, we wrapped up Group C, the U.S. unable to get the combo of results they needed to move on. They fall to Uruguay. They crash out. Here's Jenny Taft with Anthony Robinson for the U.S. Men's National Team Report, sponsored by Volkswagen.
Jenny, obviously so many emotions right now dealing with that loss. How would you describe what went down and why you guys fell short tonight?
I think just a lack of quality in the final third. I mean, it was felt like quite an even game. They had their chances, we had ours. And then when it came to it, they put theirs away and we didn't. And, it's really disappointing for us.
There was so much physicality. There were many missed calls. The frustration with the referee, how do you guys handle those moments and how frustrating was it out there?
I mean, you'd obviously expect it coming into the game, but you can't be prepared. I mean, I've never seen a ref, give a yellow and play fast before he's written in the book. It's just little things like that that's just amateur hour. But, you can't really, blame the ref on the result. He definitely, inhibited the flow of our game at times. But at the end of the day, that results on us, and we weren't good enough to get the win today.
I know that you guys wanted this Copa America journey to go much longer. Where do you guys go from here in terms of what's next?
Next, I think everyone's had a long season, so it's going to take some deserved time off, reflect on what's happened, and then next time we meet back in September, we just know that we've got to be better, and we've got to, whatever challenges in front of us, we've got to try and win, build, and just to be better.
It's Jedi.
Cheers.
Next on the field for the U.S., 2 September dates versus Canada and versus New Zealand. The first one in Kansas City, the second one in Cincinnati. There's a lot we can delve into about the scheduling of those games in a little bit. But first, we welcome you back inside. Rob Stone, Clint Dempsey, Carly Lloyd, and Alexi Lawless here with you. The captain, Christian Pulisic, who had a wonderful tournament, but said prior to this Copa that the next step for his team was finding a way to get results in the biggest games. They didn't do it a man down against Panama, and they paid the price tonight again of not finishing business in Kansas City. Huge crowd there. Tim Weah unable to play in this one due to that red card. A lot of questions about the status of Greg Berhalter, the American Outlaws, chanting "Fire Greg" in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, look, that huge crowd, they deserve better. And the U.S. had plenty of the ball, plenty of opportunities. Gio Reyna putting that ball into the box. And, we heard Jedi there talk about the referee, and it was just insane at times, this referee. At this point, Tyler Adams gets a yellow card for that. Okay. All right, maybe you have a missed call here or there, but it didn't stop.
I thought the U.S. got off to a great start. Great ball in here from Gio to Wesson to Balo.
Ouch.
It looked like it was close, but yep, he was offside.
He was offside and got absolutely crunched as well. That was the first of a couple hits he took that would eventually send him to the sideline. Here's another yellow card.
Yeah, look, it's a foul, right? And as soon as you go in your pocket to bring out the yellow, you have to stop play. He continues to let play go on.
Both arms go up.
Gives them an advantage, and it shows his inexperience as a ref. I mean, I thought he was poor all night. You lose the rhythm of the game by making these bad decisions.
Great job by Tim Ream, by the way.
And it just frustrates everybody.
Tim Ream staying with the play and clearing it out. Veteran move. And then here's the, Anthony talked about the lack of quality in the final third. It hurts when your stud striker, who really started to find his way with the U.S., is subbed out in the 41st minute. Pepe comes on for Flo.
Yeah, and just, Uruguay just keeping on the attack here. Header that goes wide, but, U.S. just holding on at this point.
Here's the goal. There's going to be a lot of talk about this goal as well.
A lot of talk.
Turner, the initial save. Carly, Clint, you guys wanted a little more from Turner on that.
Yeah, but also what was crazy is before this play, Berhalter was telling the team, "Oh, it's 1-1. You don't need to worry about it."
He was saying the other game was 1-1. Correct.
Yeah, we don't know where he was saying that, but I wouldn't be saying that.
I wouldn't be focused on that. At that point in time, I'd be focused on, hey, it's a free kick. We need to do better.
It's about, if we're worried about lines, then we've already lost the game. So head the ball out, Tim Ream, and defend better. Don't even have to worry about it.
Pulisic with an opportunity there. The net open for a brief moment, then closed down. 87th minute. Reyna to Haji Wright, who came in off the bench for his first moments.
Yeah, credit to the boys that kept fighting to the end, but there just wasn't enough quality there. I mean, Haji Wright maybe could have played Pepe there, but you just came on. You know you're going to try to take your chances, but at the end of the day, we could not score a goal, and you need to score a goal if you want to win the game.
One win, 2 losses at this Copa. The U.S. crashes out. The other game in the group from Orlando, Bolivia and Panama.
Tell you what, this game had some nice goals.
Yep. And what a finish here. The thing is I think he catches the keeper off guard because he doesn't look up to see where he is. All he does is get on the half turn and then volleys it in the roof of the net. Great finish from Gallardo.
But the 69th minute, the Tibet of the Americas, the highest and most isolated country in the Americas. I started doing a lot of Bolivia research. Can you tell?
What a goal.
Yes. At this point, they are saving the U.S. Tie game, the U.S. is through at that point. But then Panama turned it on.
Well, the U.S. beat Bolivia.
A lot of people beat Bolivia.
Exactly. I mean,
Eduardo Guerrero, the diving header there, that was the eventual game winner.
Great ball in, good finish to the far post. I mean, at the end of the day, they deserve to go through. They score goals.
Yep.
They got 3.
Another flick on.
This was another nice one.
What a finish.
My goodness.
Their manager saying it was the most important game for Panama in recent times, and they showed up when it mattered, getting a 3-1 win. They earned their ticket to the quarterfinals. Take a look at your bracket right now. Quarterfinal play firing up on Thursday. 1 game, Argentina, Ecuador. 1 game on Friday, Venezuela, Canada. Then it's a quarterfinal doubleheader on Saturday, both live on FS1. We know Uruguay and Panama will be there. Tomorrow, Group D closes out play, Brazil versus Colombia. We're going to fill out the rest of that bracket. Here's Jenny Taft, though, with U.S. goalkeeper Matt Turner.
Well, Matt, there was no denying the fight from your team tonight. And how would you describe the loss? What was missing from the performance?
I think we did just about everything right until the final third in a lot of ways. And that's disappointing, you know. Like you said, you can't be upset with the fight, and I think that goes to show the unity that we have on this team. No matter what hand we're dealt, we stick together and we keep grinding and we keep pushing. But at the end of the day, we didn't really threaten them enough. You know, when we got into the final third, and they were laying their bodies on the line, blocking shots, and I think if I could be hypercritical of myself, you know, maybe I'm not demanding enough from our team, you know, in that final third defensively. You know, we have to be harder to concede on a set piece is really frustrating, and then that made it a mountain to climb. So it's disappointing to lose in the fashion that we did, but I think when I look back on this experience, I'll be proud to have worn the crest in this tournament and represented my country to the best of my ability. And as frustrating as it is for us and for the fans that we didn't achieve our ultimate goal, you know, I hope that there's some sliver of them that's proud of the fight that we showed.
I have to ask, just in terms of the frustration from the outside with Greg Berhalter, I want to give you a chance to offer a voice of support or frustration with maybe the direction you guys are heading.
I see no issue with the direction that we're heading. I mean, when you have a fight like that on the pitch in every single game that we were in this tournament, speaks volumes to you know, how the manager prepares us. And to be honest, we've been in positions to win in every single game that we played. So yeah, I mean, everything's still fresh and raw obviously right now. We'll let the dust settle from it, but yeah, I mean, we can't look anywhere to blame except for ourselves, us players. You know, at the end of the day, we didn't do enough, and we have to hold ourselves accountable for that.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
You're shaking your head. What are you shaking your head
Oh,
at?
you're talking about your chance to win every game. I mean, you're supposed to beat Bolivia and Panama. with all due respect. And at the same time, we weren't good enough tonight. We weren't able to score. And on the goal that we conceded, maybe you can push that wide out for a corner or don't give up that rebound. But credit to him, he fought through injury. And I think we need him playing more regularly in Europe because I think that's hurt him this year.
The United States, the first host nation to fail to advance out of Copa America. Jenny brought it up with a question about Greg Berhalter, giving Matt an opportunity to, I guess, if you will, defend him. Well, let's talk about Greg Berhalter for a second. Matt Crocker, the U.S. Soccer sporting director, he led the job search that eventually rehired Greg Berhalter. Cindy Parlow, also part of it. Cindy Parlow-Cohen, U.S. Soccer president. Lex, put it in perspective out there for the people who maybe don't live and die with this U.S. national team on why there are so many knives out after just 14 games in charge for Greg Berhalter.
So, Greg Berhalter got a cycle. A cycle's here 4 years usually, and it usually culminates at a World Cup. After the 22 World Cup, I'm of the opinion that it gets stale after a cycle. And I think you should change, win, lose, or draw. It doesn't really matter. You should change and bring somebody new in. After the 22 World Cup, all the drama off the field with the Reinas and all that kind of stuff came about. They were set to rehire Greg Berhalter. And with all the other stuff that came out.
And you were fine with that, by the way, correct?
If that's what they wanted to do, I thought I don't think
clean it out.
Yeah, I don't think that multiple cycles are good. But if they were going to hire him, I did not want him to lose that opportunity for what I feel was egregious conduct that he had nothing to do with, that was off the field and was separate from actual soccer. So fine. They went through the rehiring process, and they talked to other people, and they still came back to Greg Berhalter. So if this team is not heading in the right direction, and I disagree with Matt from the outside, doesn't look like it's heading in the right direction. If it's not heading in the right direction, this is on Matt Crocker. Because he ultimately came to the decision that not only are we going to hire Greg Berhalter, but we're going to rehire Greg Berhalter after all of it, and nobody would have said anything if they had gone in a different direction.
And I don't understand why they keep asking the players, what do you think about the manager's future? Yeah. Which player's going to say, you know what, I think we should get him out. Yeah. No one's going to do that because are you going to get called in next game? Probably not. So I don't understand why you keep asking these players these type of questions because I just feel like they're not in a position they can give you a truthful answer.
But this tournament was so critical, Carly, for the evaluation because we sit 2 years out from the World Cup. The U.S. is not going to have a stiffer set of competitive games than what this Copa would offer. And that's why so many people are saying you had to get out of the group, right? That was the conversation we had before this tournament even started. At a minimum, the United States had to get out of this group.
This was the biggest test because all of the friendlies that they've played and they've set up have been easy opponents.
And they're going to be easy. Canada, New Zealand, Panama, those are the next 3
And this was the last test.
And this was it. And, my concern is just how comfortable these players are with Berhalter. I mean, we won championships and we hated our coaches, and I'm not saying you have to hate your coach, but I question how comfortable it is inside that locker room. Are they being pushed? Are they being held accountable? And it doesn't look like that from the outside looking in.
Again, we're 2 years away from the most important summer in American soccer history, the summer of 2026 and the World Cup. And we are at a low today. And I know, remember when Marta talked on the field and had an incredibly impassioned plea to the future. Mm-hmm. And I hope that there are young men and young boys out there that are watching this, that are looking at the U.S. men's national team. And I hope they are seeing this. And I hope that there is something burning inside them to want to do better, than everybody here, than everybody that they saw on the field. All right, because we are going to need that. We are going to need people that are inspired. And they might even be inspired by this failure. And make no mistake, this is a failure, not getting out of the group. This isn't the soccer gods conspiring and just, ridiculous things happening and just, so what? No, this is a failure. It's okay to say, and I'm sure Greg Berhalter would recognize that. But there has to be an understanding from this next generation that's coming that, by the way, is not even going to be involved in 2026, that you want to do things better. You want to do things that haven't been done before, because in these next 2 years, there's not a Clint Dempsey walking through that door. Okay, there's not a Landon Donovan walking through that door.
But they also have more, right? I mean, sure. I feel like we played in a generation where, we were scrapping. We were, you know, I mean, we were flying middle seats and coach.
But that's a good thing. We want them to have more. I'm incredibly proud that they don't want for anything, that they don't know all the crap that everybody went through, that they have all of these opportunities, all these pathways, and all these resources. But with that comes responsibility and expectation. And when you consistently are failing to live up to it, and as a matter of fact, not even doing what's been done in the past, when to Carly's point, you didn't have as much, then what is going on?
I know. Like, how do you blend the two?
There was also that moment in failing to qualify for the 2018 World Cup, right? I mean, you can go back to that.
Yeah. And if you do go back to that, the thing is we weren't qualifying for enough Olympics. Where was the young guys that were going to come through? And if we would have qualified for 2018 World Cup, we'd have been just putting a Band-Aid on that situation. For me, I think we're not developing enough players. I think we need to do a better job of creating players that more creative players that are in the attack, taking people on, who are scoring goals. Where are our number 9s? We've been looking for a number 9 for like 3 or 4 years. Looks like Balo has finally become that man. I think the team lost a lot of bite today when he went out of the game because he's so dynamic in terms of creating for himself, how he can stretch the field vertically, but also how he can get on the things in his confidence after scoring 2 goals, the goal in each game coming into this one, having 2 already in this tournament. So it's just frustrating to see where things are, and all of CONCACAF, really. If you look at Mexico, it's the same situation.
How do we create more Clint Dempseys? Just fly everybody down to Nacogdoches?
Don't micromanage everybody.
I think you have to give people freedom to make mistakes in the attack and third, and not just every time play simple. That's my take on that. But at the same time, you got to win ugly sometimes. You have to grind out results. You have to have everything. To make a perfect recipe, you have to have different type of players. You can't create the same type of player that's just going to, when it gets in a tight situation, all I'm going to do is play simple and play back or play side to side. You got to be able to take risks, play forward, break lines, take people on, and take risks.
Let's hear from Tim Ream, standing by with Jenny Taft.
Well, Tim, thank you for stopping. You've had a couple minutes to process the loss in the locker room. What was said? What was the message from Greg Berhalter?
Just that we came up short. We didn't perform and had the game on Thursday night, and it put us in a really tough position tonight. Obviously, I think everybody could see that we tried, but. At the end of the day, we don't make it out, and therefore an unsuccessful tournament.
Was there a message that the players voiced to Greg following the loss?
No, everybody's just very, very solemn at the minute. Heads down, disappointed, unhappy, as you would expect. So, nothing was said. Just replaying the last couple of weeks over and over and over, and figuring out where and why and how and the things we could have done differently to get through and get better results.
Obviously, this is all about the build towards 26. This was a tournament about learning and growing. Are you confident in the direction this team is going?
I'm confident in the group for sure. I think there's moments that we let ourselves down, and unfortunately it comes in in big games, and whether that's emotional mistakes or tactical mistakes or positioning mistakes, and it's just it's a tough one, but the group is an unbelievable group, always willing to learn and grow and try to perform to the best that we can, and it's a tough one right now.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very well could be Tim's final game representing the red, white, and blue. If it is, thank you for everything that you did, Tim. Greg Berhalter has just begun his post-game press conference. We're going to take you out there live right now.
Just to see the guys' faces in the locker room, and see the emotion of the staff and players. We're bitterly disappointed with the results. We know that we're capable of more. And in this tournament, we didn't show it. It's really as simple as that. I think that, you look at the stage that was set with the fans in this tournament, with the high level of competition in this tournament, and, we should have done better. And, we'll do a review and figure out what went wrong, why it went wrong. But I think it's, it's an empty feeling right now for sure.
Michele Giannone from Innovation. Hi, Greg.
Did the referee tell you something about the Uruguay goal? Like on the broadcast, it looked like a clear offside, and the picture too. So what explanation did you got?
It's pretty crazy, really. I don't understand it. I feel like I know the rule pretty well. I feel like we had the pictures that are showing how the rule could be interpreted, and it's an offside goal. It's disappointing. It really is, but that happens in football, and we have to live with it, obviously.
Hi, Greg. Steve Goff, The Washington Post. There's a lot to digest. Obviously, it's a very emotional time. But reflecting on the 3 games and getting knocked out, do you feel like the team has done enough? Have you done enough to continue the way things are and to stay in the position?
Well, that's what we're going to take a look at. We're all going to do a review of the whole tournament and see where we fell short. It's obvious that the Panama game hurt us, put us behind the 8 ball. And, I think collectively, the staff, the players, the sporting department, we need to look at where do we improve? How do we do better? It's not the aspirations that we have as a group. We know it's a talented team with big potential, and we didn't show it in this tournament.
Greg, Jonathan Tannenwald of the Philadelphia Inquirer. Greg, the review is going to take some time, obviously, show what it shows, but in your heart and in your mind, in this moment, as emotional it is, what needs to get better? Because 2 years is not a lot of time in the international soccer world, and there might not be games this big between now and the 2026 World Cup.
No, it's a good point. It's really, I think, about learning from this whole month. It wasn't only Copa America, but it's learning from these high-level games that we're playing pre-tournament and in tournament, and us having the understanding, the collective understanding that the margins are so small, and there's very little, separating any of these teams. And you have to treat every game as the same. When you see the effort tonight that we put in, it's incredible. The guys did a great job. They worked extremely hard, put in a great effort against a really good team. But that needs to be the standard. Every time we step on the field, that needs to be the same effort. So we'll look at everything. I think we're not going to leave any stone unturned.
John Carlo, ESPN. Greg, you said that needs to be the standard. I interpret that to mean that you don't think it is the standard. Why do you think that's the case? And in terms of the review, do you think you'll be given the opportunity to conduct that review?
That's not up to me, Jeff, right? We know that. I think that, again, when you're in tournament football, there's very little that separates success from failure. And, it's one action, it's, one decision from the referee, and you could be in trouble. And for us, it's having that understanding, this understanding that, every time we step on the field, it has an impact. And, I think we're getting there, but, we're not always there. And that's something that we can improve.
Henry Bushnell with Yahoo Sports. Greg, stepping back, maybe, going back a few weeks before Copa America started, so taking away the, circumstances of what happened in these 3 games, do you feel like the team has made progress over the past 9 months since you retook charge, and if so, in what ways?
Yeah, I do. I think in a number of ways. Defensively, we're a very good team. Most games we have higher expected goals than the opponent. We create chances. We move the ball well. To me, the whole thing is, you want to keep moving the team forward, and I feel like we have. You think about the depth of the squad, the number of players we have that have played in games. So there's certainly improvement, and we need to keep going. To me, it's not, in my opinion, it's not something that you say, okay, this program's doomed. It's not the case at all. It was a poor performance. We didn't get the results that we expected, and we need to get better.
Did you expect more progress in the final third, like attacking-wise?
it's a difficult question because when you look at Uruguay and how they play, they're a very, very good defensive team. They go to Argentina and they beat Argentina and leave Argentina with a 0.5 expected goals at home. They don't give up many chances, and we knew that going into the game it wasn't going to be a ton of chances. We knew it was going to be one or two opportunities, hopefully a set piece or two, and we can get on the board. When you look at the other games, we've created enough chances to score enough goals. Panama was an exception, I think, due to the circumstances of being down a man, and we still had a higher expected goal difference than them. And I don't want this to be an excuse at all. We did not perform up to expectations at all. We know we can do better. We believe in this team, but that's how it was.
Hey, Greg, Paul Tenorio from The Athletic. As you just said, you felt like this team didn't perform well and could perform better. The decision's not up to you as to whether you continue, but do you believe that you still are the right voice, the right person with this group to push it forward ahead of the 26th World Cup and into the 26th World Cup?
Yes.
One-word answer. Yep. Are you still the right voice? Yes. Do you think he's still the right voice?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think we've progressed enough since, the last World Cup. We're not on the right track. It took too long to even do the search, then have them back. And now, how long is it going to take? Like they were saying in the interview, the press or whatever, the post game. How long is that process going to take if you do get another guy to come in? Because you see how long it took last time. We don't have time. And who is someone that's good enough that can take us forward? That's out there waiting in the wings. So those are questions that the Federation needs to figure out. But for me, it hasn't been good enough.
And whether he is right for the job or not, I just think right now in this particular moment, you need to shake everything up. Shake everything up, get players, on their toes again, held accountable, new fresh face to come in and ignite this team again. And maybe these players maybe we're giving them too much credit. I don't know. Maybe they're not the best golden generation of players, but maybe there's somebody else that can bring out the best in them.
The summer of 26 is an opportunity. It's an opportunity not just for American soccer, but for the country to come together. And you need somebody that is going to pull people together. And right now, I think Greg Berhalter, because of the fact that he has failed to a certain extent, has not given people hope that it is heading in the right direction. And so he has become incredibly polarizing. And that's just because of the results that have happened. If they believe that he is the right person to take us into 2026, that is not going to change. There will be continued polarization. And I want somebody in there that is going to bring everybody together. We all have different opinions, and I agree or disagree. But ultimately, in this lead up now, because you heard him say, next 2 years, there really isn't anything out there in terms of real competition. This was it. So whatever progress is going to be made in the next couple has to be made by somebody that's going to bring everybody together. Because when that whistle blows in the summer of 2026, I want everybody in America, whether they love soccer or not, to say, you know what, I am on board with this. And you need a leader in that position that's going to get the best out of the players and that is going to bring everybody together, not divide people.
America thinks big.
Yep.
Right? And you go big or go home. Fox Sports did it, right? Tom Brady, we're going to get you. U.S. Soccer, if they're going to make a move, they need to go big. There's this guy up in Liverpool who's out of work right now. There's a guy in Manchester who loves spending time in the United States. Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, go big or go home. And the U.S. is going home from Copa America. The round of 16 at the Euros continues with 2 more matches tomorrow. First up, Romania taking on the team that eliminated the U.S. at the last World Cup, the Netherlands. That one on FS1. Then Austria taking on Turkey. That one 2 Eastern live on Fox. Copa America is done and dusted for Christian Pulisic and the United States. Still 2 more games to go tomorrow. Group D closes down play, and it's a great one from Santa Clara, California. Brazil and Colombia, the other match, Paraguay and Costa Rica. Uruguay moves on to the quarterfinals. The U.S. crashes out.
This is the first time the U.S. men have been eliminated at the group stage of any senior men's tournament it has hosted. And I heard on the Fox postgame they said this is the first time that the host country is out so soon in a Copa America, which is usually the South American championship. So the U.S. men have now lost 5 times in a 9-match span for the first time since 2018.
Is that good?
Not good. And they have a losing record if you go back to the October schedule, including, don't forget, the tune-up loss this past month was 5-1 to Colombia, which might have been their opponent in the quarterfinals this weekend in Arizona. Instead, Panama advances, getting a 3-1 win over last-place Bolivia tonight in Orlando. Panama with 2 goals in the last 15 minutes of that game. The U.S. men have failed to advance despite winning their opening group stage match of a tournament for the first time. Amazingly, all 23 times it opened with a win in the group stage of any tournament, it always got out of the group. Not now. They opened with 3 points in the standings, a shutout victory against woeful Bolivia, and that's how bad the next 2 games were. The U.S. is out. At the Euros in the round of 16, France eliminated Belgium 1-0 on an own goal in the 85th minute when a shot went off a defender's knee and in. France did outshoot them 19-5. Portugal beat Slovenia on penalty kicks. It was scoreless through overtime. Then Portugal saved all 3